say that like that.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm a Ninja Turtles fan. Okay, I will ooze wherever I like.
This one drink that's not even bad, you won't drink, and I'm confused. I am in anger.
Good for you guys. I don't watch a lot of movies. I go outside. Okay?
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Too Many Words podcast. I am your host, Isaac Joseph. Right across the way from me is my best friend,
Jordan.
Yeah, and it's his birthday today.
It's not.
It is technically in the vicinity of his birth date.
We still have
hey,
2
man,
days.
I told your dad what he should have done 27 years ago, and which was do it 48 hours ahead, okay? But he failed to do so. He could not break the space-time continuum to follow my orders, but it's whatever. We're going to celebrate your day today because I'm not going to be with you on your actual birthday.
Yeah, I'm going to be with that guy.
That guy
is my father.
Tell us what you're doing on your birthday.
I'm helping my dad move.
Nice. You know, if everything goes right, I'm going to do similar stuff on my birthday.
Huh?
I'm going to do similar stuff on my birthday.
Like, with who?
If everything goes right, I move into my own place the week of my birthday.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm going to take some PTO off and just, you know,
it's kind of weird.
Bring together a ragtag gang of friends and get all my stuff and then move me in, you know? It should take, like, less than a day because, like, I have no assets.
You have, like, nothing.
I have nothing. Not even my own couch. It's crazy.
Hey, dude, it's still in the basement. You know,
I'll take a trip to Homemakers with $10,000, and then I'll just fill my apartment. It's got furniture and a bed and a vanity and all this stuff, you know. But Jordan, where are we?
We are at Planet FunkCon in Davenport, Iowa.
Yes, sir. Why?
Because we paid to be here.
Oh, you know, that's a very logical answer to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, what did we get?
Well, I mean, firstly, I gotta say we're in Davenport again.
Yes.
Like the last time we were in Davenport for the podcast was the episode
a year ago.
Like just over a year ago.
Just over a year ago.
The episode right before Des Moines Con 1 for us. You know, which is it's really special.
We live a good life.
We do actually.
Yeah, better than the average person listening. Yeah. You person watching, you're a fucking normie.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
No,
we're
not.
Step over you in every single way. I'm just kidding. I love you. I appreciate you, especially if you're watching right now. Oh my goodness, that's more attention than I get from my mom. So,
but if you watch that episode, you know that I also I spent a lot of time in the Quad Cities, the Davenport area, because my dad lived here for a good portion of my life. So that's why this place is so special to me.
Hi, April O'Neil. I'm good.
I will be getting my father on the podcast here in a couple minutes. Yes, I will. I mean, that too. Vinny's here too.
O'Neil.
He's over there. We got Vinny and we got my
Jordan
dad.
talking to people off mic once again.
That's okay. It's
Don't
part
worry.
of
I
the
said
experience.
hi to April O'Neil, and she's
Part
definitely not on mic.
You know?
Well, she's on the mic, but that's not our mic.
You know what? That's funny. She's the one that's been talking, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I love a good April O'Neil cosplay. I think I have some issues because like that automatically makes her attractive to me. Like automatically.
I mean, it's just a yellow jumpsuit.
Yellow jumpsuit, and also the Ninja Turtle earrings. That's the tipper.
You have a thing with ears. We don't need to talk about that.
What? I do not.
We don't need to talk about that. So, Isaac, what did you get?
What did I get?
Yeah. What did you get?
Like what I get for you for your birthday?
No. What did you get?
Well, I kind of put everything that I got away, but hey, Jordan's daddy.
Stop calling him that.
Can you pass me that bookmark? That's right over your shoulder right there. Cool. Thank you. So this is a very special thing. Jordan, show the camera. This is a bookmark, and not just any bookmark. It's got Snoopy on it, and it's signed on the back. It says, "To Nana," from Patricia Patts.
It says, "To the Nana."
To the Nana. Patricia Patts signed the voice actress of Peppermint Patty from Peanuts. And yeah, she was an absolute delight. Hopefully, Vincent Cataldo over here talked to me about maybe she would be down for a one good question, because like that gal had more questions for me than I did for her. Like, she just checked me out. I got the pod logo on the hat, and she's like, "Tell too many words. What's that about?" And I'm like, "Well, this is like
last year.
This is like the easiest introduction to opportunity."
It's getting close to you've had that hat for almost a year now.
Yes, sir. And it's not got any holes in it.
That's crazy.
That's impressive, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit bendy right here, but I got it bendy.
Steam it a little bit, it'll be fine.
Yeah, steam it a little bit.
Like I said, they do recommend misting it every now and again, so that
I think
it
about
doesn't dry
that.
out.
That's like the only piece of advice that I heard from you about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Spit on it.
I probably wouldn't do that.
But anyways, that guy's covered in cats. I love that.
He is covered in
I
cats.
hope he saw Melanie. I really hope that he ran into Melanie.
I'm gonna pray he did.
But yes. Oh yeah, the Overcom.
Don't miss this panel featuring Olivia Hack, Jenny Kwan,
Dan Corlett, and Limp Bizkit.
By Eric Wesselman, and will
Something
be
Wesselman.
Today in about 30 minutes.
Today in 30 minutes.
In our
Arkansas room.
An immersive experience.
Be there.
For you.
For Vincent and Jordan's
and
daddy.
Not that guy.
Not myself, no. But yeah, she just asked about it, and I was like, we're Scalded Stone Productions, and this is my podcast on my hat, and we've been doing that for like a few years now. But what I really pride myself in is making movies, when I have the people, the money, the resources, and the time to actually make a movie. She thought that was really cool for some reason.
Yeah.
And she was the nicest, like, she was just as happy to meet me as I was to meet her. It was really interesting. But yeah, I was like, I want to get Nana something. Anybody who's a long-term listener of the podcast knows Nana, knows about Nana at the very least. And guess what? Loves Peanuts, okay? Loves the show Peanuts. Obviously same generation, similar generation. And she would have loved to talk her head off. And she probably would have talked her head off with her, based on how she was with me.
Imagine if she invited your Nana just behind the booth. She was like, "You want to just hang out?"
She told me to friend her on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot
she's
of
like,
those
friend me. I'm like,
older
on
generations.
what? Like Instagram? She's like, I'm not on Instagram. Like, I have it, but like I don't use it. She's like, I'm old. I use Facebook.
A lot of those older
Instagram.
generations, they're not super well known or like super, recognizable by people. So like, they don't have to worry about that.
Nah. If I see her on the street, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Patricia."
Patricia.
Yo, Patricia, what's up, dog? But yeah, she was super nice. That's the first thing I can show you, at least. Everything else is pretty much.
We'll get a lot of it covered on the retrospective episode.
Probably.
Yeah.
But everything else is, as of right now, I think, in the RV. Kind of a big deal. I finally, after like 5 years of thinking about it, got issue 8 of Secret Wars, which is like huge.
Yeah.
Huge
Spent a lot
for
of money
me.
on it, but yeah.
We're not going to talk about that, okay? It's your birthday. We are here to celebrate, okay?
I mean,
Jordan,
we're
what
here
did
for
you
a little
get?
bit more than that.
What'd
I
you
got
get?
some really cool Transformers.
He loves to spend his money, okay? If anybody needs to be talked to about needing to not spend so much money, it's this guy. And he drops it on frivolous things like Transformers. Let me show you the first one.
That's just the big box. You're not going to be able to see a lot.
So,
first off,
this is a black
backwards.
box.
It's backwards.
There we go. And this is what it looks like. And that's all you need to know.
All right.
Homie paid $300 for a black box. Like, what a loser.
Those who are, it's somewhat decent Transformers fans will know about the Missing Link Convoy, which is
it's called Black Zarek.
Yeah, Black Zarek.
Ms. B.
Mint and sealed box.
Mint and sealed box. Boom. And then we got some Japanese car called Transformers Optimus Prime.
What did you get? Starts talking.
What do we get?
Talking bullshit about it.
Well, it's close to me, It's at my feet.
And then I also got another Optimus Prime that's sitting over there. We might buy something else. We'll see.
We might buy something else.
I don't want to show it off. A lot of them will get shown off on the retrospective episode. Ow.
I have eye shields now. I wear glasses.
Yes. This is the guy that I bought personally.
Yep. Yep. Oh.
Like I said, we'll see that some of a little bit more stuff on the retrospective.
Beautiful. He bought the worst thing in the world. Funko Pops.
The beds were not great.
The beds were not good?
No.
What are you talking about? How was the AC?
That part was great.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, you just let us know. Vinny and I have been ragtag teaming it in the RV, baby girls.
No air conditioning.
No air conditioning, just a slight breeze from open windows and the fan if the generator is running, in which we will not have it running overnight. And so overnight, it feels not so great. But I did fall asleep with nothing on except for my underwear. Vinny enjoyed that thoroughly. And I had a great night. I slept like a baby. First night was rough. First night was super rough. Vinny, would you agree that night 2 was easier a little bit than night 1? I'll agree on the podcast. Okay.
When he comes on here.
Yeah, when he comes on. Okay, so we're going to do a special segment called Can Isaac Get Permission? What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask WWE former pro wrestler Hornswoggle if he's okay to do a one good question for our short form content series, One Good Question. We're probably going to record that tomorrow if he says yes, because I need to do some stupid research because I have no question that I would ask him as of right now currently.
You go do that. That'll be fun. That'd
yeah,
be really cool.
Vinny,
I really hope so.
Would you like to come up and maybe share all these autographs?
Make sure you
that
show
gotten?
them who we've gotten that's famous before, like Rob Van Dam. Or
Vinny, let's go down the Rolodex of One Good Question
Steve
and
from Blue's
all the
Clues,
celebrity meeting that you've done by yourself.
Or, Epic Rap Battles of History.
Yes.
I love how much they loved being on that.
That is correct. We have actually had, I'm going to bring this up a little bit because I'm a little taller than
Feel
Isaac.
free to adjust it as much as you want.
Yeah.
I've been moving a lot.
We have actually had a lot of really interesting people on the One Good Question before.
Yes, we
Rob
have.
Van Dam was our first one, and I am still incredibly shocked that we were able to get Rob Van Dam. I remember walking up to him, and I usually don't get nervous around famous people.
Yeah.
But that was like...
That's one of those ones.
Scary. Because I'm like,
that's like, he's up there for
and
WWE.
I remember asking him, I was like, okay, so we are doing this new little short film called One Good Question. I ask you a question, we film it. Is that cool? He's like, yeah, let's do it. And at that point, I was like shocked. I was like, okay, how are we going to do this? And we somehow pulled it off, and here we are. Probably, I don't know how many episodes we're in, like 10, 15?
I feel like it's more than that.
15? I feel like we're almost approaching 20 at this point, I feel like.
I think so.
Because we've done Rob Van Dam. You did 3 or 4 at Twin Cities Con.
Yeah.
We've done Ben Yetter, Hope Jakes, and their cosplays. We did Epic Rap Battles. I've done 28 Days Later, Leon King, is AK-47. Did I say Dan Green already?
No.
Dan Green. We've got...
Because we got a bunch.
Oh, we've got all.
Right now.
We did like 4 with the Misfits.
Yeah.
So we might also almost be pushing 25 at this point, which is honestly really good in my opinion.
Once we get through all those, it'll be a relieving feeling for you and Isaac, I think. Well,
yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
I mean, all he does is just.
Oh, I just mean like the fact that you've already accomplished so much with this series.
Oh, absolutely. Like that's what's crazy about it is like we've accomplished so much with this, and we just we wanted this to be just like a short film thing. So, but let's get into the real meat of the whole thing.
Vinny, what have you done at this convention so far?
I'm glad you asked. So I'm going to have Jordan hold it up at the camera, and I will explain all of them. So we're starting out here with probably one of my favorite cartoons, Codename Kids Next Door. We got Ben Diskin. He was the voice of number 1 and number 2. If you grew up in the early 2000s, chances are you 100% watched that show.
I didn't know if it was the next page. Or
It
what.
is.
Okay.
So, the next one on the list, if any of you are YouTube fans, it is the Nostalgia Critic. He has been a huge YouTuber who I've loved to watch religiously. So that was a huge one. The next one that I have is from a great TV show, Breaking Bad. I forgot the guy's name already. It's really bad on me as a fan that I'm forgetting his name already, even though I met him yesterday. But whatever. So the next one on there is, if anybody's seen the new South Park special, Into the Panderverse, I met the lady who played Panderverse Eric Cartmen. I think her name was Janeshia Adams. Janeshia Adams Ginyard, I think that's her name. I probably am wrong on that, but I don't care. And then I got to meet the legendary Phil Lamar. As many of you have known, he's been in a ton of TV shows ranging from Samurai Jack, Futurama, was he Green Lantern?
Yeah, he was Green Lantern in Justice League of America.
Okay. And then he was
Justice League animated
Static
series.
Shock, which is honestly a very underrated TV show. I wish more people would actually. I wish people would actually give more look to that show because that was amazing.
He was supposed to. Static Shock was built up to, I think, appear on the Black Lightning CW show.
Yeah.
But then I think they canceled that.
No, that's not him. That's a different guy.
I don't know what he's looking at right now.
He was looking at one of the. What are their names? It's been forever since I've seen Breaking Bad.
Okay, I've not seen that series, so.
I know his name started with a Max. It was a Max something. Anywho, so next on my list, I got to meet the legendary Ian James Corlett, voicing Johnny Test's dad. If any of you grew up watching Johnny Test, you know him pretty well. Next one on my list is I grew up watching Digimon, so getting to meet Jason Seth, I think is his name. I think that's his name, Jason Seth. Very cool guy, very fun. And then getting to meet the legendary Terry Tate, otherwise known as Lester Spate. Keep an eye out soon. We will have a one good question with him coming up very soon. And then I got another Nostalgia Critic autograph because there were more people at the show. So I got to meet more of them. And then ending it off with the legendary Hornswoggle. And that is pretty much my con autograph collecting. Yes.
Hello, sir. We're Skullstone Productions. We like to make short films and podcasts. If you'd like to donate money for our next short film, it's going to be called Following the Buzzards. You get a free hat if you donate $20. Also known as the hats are $20.
That's kind of a way to. That's literally a.
Yeah, we're actually recording one right now.
We're recording right now, so.
I wish Isaac was here right now. He's the salesperson.
He really is, and that's why I always have him go up and ask the people. Like,
he's got the charisma.
He does. Like when I got turned down by Nostalgia Critic, I was defeated, man. I was like, dang, man, that hurts. And even he was like, dude, don't beat yourself up about it. I mean, it happens. And then I got Lester Spate, so that kind of boosted my
yeah.
That boosted everything again. But this is what's so much fun about Comic-Cons is like,
yeah.
For me, it's like I like the aesthetic. The aesthetic. The aspect of people setting up at like as exhibitors, and doing all that. But the celebrity side is what's cool, is because like you get to meet these people like who have been like voice actors or live action, who have been in the TV shows that you have watched, and you get to see them in person. You get to like see like, oh, you are the face behind the character.
Mm-hmm,
you are the person who I grew up watching, and all that. So getting to meet them is so cool, and like to let them know how much they played a part or their character played a part in your life is very interesting. So,
honestly, yeah. So like, I'm not big on the whole autographs thing. I would much rather just meet them, have a nice conversation with them, because like it means so much more to me, at least. Autographs are cool. They are physical proof that you did that, which is awesome.
And
Like,
the thing for me also that I see is like some of these like voice people, they might be older and not be doing work anymore, and this is kind of their only way to like keep income.
Yeah.
So that's another way of like helping them out too. Like I know Maxwell Adams, who created Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, he has just been on the decline lately. Like he had
really?
to sell his house, he couldn't afford it.
Wow.
He's been trying to get into the Comic-Con scene, and it's just hurting him. And that's like where I would be like, I want to buy an autograph from you to support you and to get an autograph because Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is one of my favorite TV shows.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, you're helping out the older voice actors because they probably don't have work anymore. They're probably retired, and they choose this as kind of their way of like meeting the fans and all that. So, and I think of like Marty Grabstein who played Courage the Cowardly Dog. I think he's done doing all that. So, I mean, what I see here is he's just trying to like meet the fans and make some money because being the voice of one of the most iconic cartoon characters on Cartoon Network, people want to meet him.
Yeah.
So,
for sure. Like, there's a lot of like voice actors and even just regular actors and celebrities and such that when they're done doing the actual acting part and they still need to make more money, a big thing that they do is they just do conventions because it's if it's a convention that has good foot traffic, you're gonna be getting a lot of people gonna be getting a good amount of money every day, and B, you get to meet the people that you did all this for, which is I think what really nails it home for a lot of celebrities. But then again, I can't speak for all of them. So
yeah, I mean it's different,
Yeah.
but still.
what else was I was gonna say something else. What was it, Dad? Do you know? Chalupa. Vinny. So you and Isaac got here a day before I did, a day and a half before I did. So you got to experience the full first day, the full first Friday of what this convention was like. What was it? Was it very different than what today is, or like?
Well, you got to keep in mind, like the first day you're gonna see
It's the slowest.
Yeah, 100%. Like anybody can tell you, like any 3-day Comic-Con, the first Friday is the slowest by far. Sunday comes in second because more people can actually attend, but it's also like the last day. The thing you see, number one, it's more inventory on the first day. So like people have a lot more to sell.
Okay.
And with that, like, yeah, the prices also could be high. But on the last day, what's good about it is that I talked to the book guy down there. I forgot his name already. But he was telling me, he's like, on the last day, I might have to sell these for free because I don't want to be having to lug all these books back. And that's like what I say too is like, man, like when you like have like if you're like a 3D collector or like if you're like a 3D printer like or you sell like board games like that person over there or like books and stuff, you don't want to lug all that stuff back to your car and have to like worry about that. So you're trying to get it out as much as possible. That's why like Fridays are good because number one, you have more inventory and the prices are a little bit higher, but there's more to see. Saturday is a little bit different because you're kind of in that middle of like it's getting near the end, and second day people are buying more off from them, and then Sunday is always tough because it's the last day. They're not as stocked, but they're trying to get rid of it, so they're going to drop the price pretty low.
Oh yeah.
That's what I always see.
Yeah. So, how many cons do you think you've been to at this point?
Let's see. So I started in 2023 with Des Moines Con.
Okay.
So that was Des Moines Con was my first one, and then I did Animate Des Moines 2023, and then I didn't do Twin Cities Con. I was going to. I did Planet Comic Con 2024, and then I did Des Moines Con, and then I did Animate Nightmare Weekend, and that was it. And then I've done Planet Comic Con this year, Des Moines Con one day, and Planet Funk Con. So I've done 3 Des Moines Cons, 2 Planet Comic Con. I've done about 7 Comic Cons so far in the span of 2 years. So
I ask specifically because flipping through your autograph book there, I noticed that you labeled that specifically for this con. So you have different books for different cons?
Well, I think what you're talking about, here, I'll show you. What you're probably referring to is our extra sign-up sheet.
Oh, I did not notice that in there, actually. I just noticed
we brought an extra sign-up sheet.
Okay.
Just in case we needed an extra one for... just in case we need an extra one for our thing.
Okay.
So, our friend is back.
So, our friend is back. I guess so.
So, our leader is back.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a signed photo from Hornswoggle, and I got a picture. I didn't look at it. I probably look awful in it, but
It's okay, you look awful all the time.
Let's see it.
yeah, we got it right there.
That looks
Looking
cool.
good, looking good. My beard looks big.
Heh.
That's crazy. Yeah, signed Swoggle photo. So, yeah, he was really nice.
I think your sticker fell on the...
Probably not nice, though, for a one good question, but...
What?
Probably not nice enough for a one good question, but...
Yeah, I asked him, and he said, yeah, come over tomorrow.
No.
Yeah, he did.
He actually
Whenever,
did?
whatever time.
You're kidding.
No. We got him.
Really?
Yep.
So, okay, so...
Come on, ask me. What?
No,
you got a question?
he's lying. He's lying.
No.
He's not.
You're
I'm not.
100% lying.
I asked him, I was like, hey, man, just in case, what's a question that you get asked way too many times? He's like, just don't ask me what my favorite wrestler is. And I'm like, yeah, cool.
Okay, but, like, are you 100% sure that he, like, is okay? So, like, did you just
I
say...
explained to him exactly what it is. There's no way he's confused about it.
But, like, and he was just like, yeah, sure. You
Yeah.
come on. My God, I'm doing you for every other time. Because honestly, I get tense and I freeze and I make it sound like
Here's
it's an
the
interview
thing.
and nobody wants to do it.
Here's the thing. You got to make it sound like very convenient. What the go-to sentence that I use all the time, we have a short form content series, kind of like TikToks. It's for people who don't have time for a podcast, full-length podcast, kind of like you. So literally what it is, it's on video, me asking one question, you giving us one answer, and that's the whole thing. That's all I say. That's all
Nice.
I say. I make it super easy, in and out, done.
Nice.
Okay.
How do
So-
you put it as?
I'm always the one that's like, hey man, so we and my friend, we run this really cool, we have this YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a daunting start.
Yeah, so I screwed up.
You
I
want
screwed
to be
up.
in a YouTube video?
I screwed up right away.
I
So,
bring up like the short form media thing.
yeah, like when we tried to get the guy from Rick and Morty, we did kind of bring it up that like, yeah, it's a short form content, and even he like, but we brought it up that we had a YouTube channel, and I think that was kind of like the turn up. Jesus, I am like horrible with voice cracks lately.
It's all good. It's all good. You're the youngest one here. Don't pretend it's not.
Shut it. But my biggest thing is like
Spider-Man.
I bring up that like, hey, we run a YouTube channel, and I feel like at that point it's off-putting because they're like, oh, it's a YouTube video. I don't know. But if I bring up like we run short form content these like small little videos. It's basically I ask you a question, you give me a good answer. It could be short, it could be long. We record it, stitch it together, and we put it out there. Well, we tag you. Any like socials that you got, we'll tag you in those. And I feel like that worked well with Lester Spate because he was cool with it. But
Yeah.
I don't know like why I can't get anybody else. My thing is I get nervous, especially like if I'm going up to like the big people.
Yeah.
Like if I were to go up to Phil Lamar, if I were to go up to Ben Diskin, or if I were to go up to Nicole Sullivan, if I were to go up to them, I freeze up because it's like they're big. They got a lot of people probably waiting for them. They don't want to do it.
In my opinion, Hornswoggle is the biggest name here.
I think
That
we should.
is
I would- close.
close. I will say it's close because I think that Nicole Sullivan is big. Phil Lamar's pretty big. Wendy Lee.
Okay, Wendy Lee. Yeah.
Wendy Lee has like had a line going so far lately that I guarantee like she's probably one of the biggest names here.
Well, apparently, like, there's not even a booth for the biggest name here, which is Kelly.
Kelly, I think, was not supposed to be. She's not at this one. She's going to do another Comic-Con.
She was announced for a panel.
Are we sure about that?
Yeah,
I
it
see.
was
I
over
didn't
the
hear anything about
Overcon.
that.
multiple
I
times.
don't think I've heard her
I didn't hear
once
anything
say.
about
We would have. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I was going to
Okay.
say because they would have put it
Jordan's
out there.
daddy sounds very sure of himself, so we're gonna go with that one.
Trust Jordan's dad. Trust
Yep.
daddy.
Yep. Trust Papa Boo.
Ha ha ha.
I'm sorry, Father.
But at least we got another one on the books, and we should try to get maybe one more. Why? Because I feel like we could top it out at 3.
I personally would feel incredibly accomplished. I already do. Honestly, Hornswoggle, boom.
Yeah.
But I would personally feel accomplished if you got Phil Lamar.
That would be nice, but I feel like
I'll be right back.
Okay.
He's
doing that segment again where can Isaac get permission?
He's not going to. There's no way in hell he's going to get Phil Lamar.
I think he could. Phil Lamar did not have, like, anyone over there. So
but he's also a bigger name, and I just feel... the hardest thing, too, is, like, if you had we have the exhibitor badge.
Yeah.
If we had the press badge, 100% they're on board, because we actually are official. Since with you and I, because we had not the guest badge, but like just the regular attendee badge at Planet Comic-Con, that was a little off-putting.
I will fully admit that I agree with that so much, is that we just had a normal ass badge, and if it's just a normal person, they're not gonna say yes to that.
No.
I think that was the first thing that we did wrong with GalaxyCon, right?
It was Planet Comic-Con.
Planet Comic-Con. There's too many space-related ones, and I get all of them mixed up.
Because we're at Planet FunkCon right now. We have Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City, and we have GalaxyCon in Des Moines. So, I mean, like,
what?
Why are there so many Planet-themed Comic-Cons, like, around here? Like, is that, like, supposed to be, like, indicative of something?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I also have some cool other things, too, to show you.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan, would you go up kindly and show them the one up there while I show them a few other of mine? So, another cool one that I bought is this amazing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles little, like, 3D printed I don't know, like, what you would call it, but it's amazing. And it's based, I learned it from my friend, it is based on a actual 3D, or like, I don't know, like, what they're called. Like, what would you call them?
A statue.
Yeah, they're based on, like, a statue, like, that is already out. But for $60, that's amazing.
That does have incredibly good detail, and the print work is also really, really well done as well. The only thing, as a 3D printer, I know a lot of the ins and outs. It's not a 100% infill, which I think is fine. Depending on what you're printing for this, I think you should have just gone all the way and done it on 100%, especially if you're selling it for that kind of price. It would have came out a lot more sturdy, a lot more durable. I think that's exactly what people are going to want.
You want to show them
specifically something like this?
Here's the next one.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So this one's pretty funny. This is 3D printed Lego Donald Trump. I don't know how. I don't know why, but I love it. It is amazing. That is something that is, and I don't care what your political beliefs are, what you believe in, but just
This
Lego.
is just a fun novelty.
It is Lego Donald Trump, man. That is awesome.
It's just fun.
We ended off with the smallest piece that I probably own right now, and that is a 3D printed Sonic the Hedgehog. Probably my favorite of all time. Like, I honestly say, like, this is what's so funny too about like growing up is, like, you either a Mario fan or a Sonic fan.
I was neither, honestly.
What were you, a Yoshi fan?
Pokemon.
Okay. Pokemon is a good one. But yeah, I feel like, well, because then, like, I remember, like, as a kid, there was the whole thing of they had
Mario and Sonic.
Mario and Sonic, and, like, everybody was always like, "Oh, you're either a Mario fan or you're a Sonic fan." And then Nintendo and Sega were like, "Hey, let's just join forces and just make."
That's literally what happened. Actually, yeah.
But I honestly, Sonic just stuck out to me more. Like, I go back and listen to, like, the soundtracks. The soundtracks of the first and, like, Sonic 1 through 3. Eggman's boss battle in the first game is by far the best there is.
Our editor, James, is actually a huge Sonic fan.
Oh, we would get along so well.
Yes, he's a cool guy. You'll see him at the live event if anyone decides to come to that. You know,
if you're watching,
he'll be there. He'll be there.
Guess what? We have a live event. Did you know that?
Yeah.
September 18th.
Did you know that?
September 18th
Did you know that?
at Fleur Cinema.
Did you?
We are going to be Well, technically, I'm not anybody important. These guys are. So
I mean, he's the face of One Good Question still.
I am. So and
That is still your series, but
it is, yes. Even though Isaac kind of runs it half the time. But
hey,
if
he's
you
just got
are
that charisma.
not doing anything on a random Thursday night and you want to celebrate National Cheeseburger Day with us,
oh yeah,
we will be at Fleur Cinema, 5 to 8. Right?
yes,
Okay, 5 to 8.
yes,
It's going to be fun. There'll be
bigger and better than last year, which honestly
Yes.
is an insane statement to make because
Yes.
of how huge it was.
I was going to say last year was huge.
Oh
so-
my goodness, we had 100 attendees, which was redonkulous.
And now this time we're going to have 200.
I'm hoping
But-
for 250.
There's going to be burger trucks, probably just singular.
just the one.
There's going to be vendors. Our good friends at Misfit Studios are going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be in cosplay. If you want to meet some superheroes, they're the people to do it. So, but Thursday, September 18th from 5 to 8 at Fleur Cinema. Also happening that night is the World, and World, I mean local Des Moines,
I mean, it's still
premiere
World.
of Isaac William Joseph's new film known as Marketplace.
This movie has been a long time coming, so like he's like actually been working on it for like 2 years. It's kind of crazy, but they really got to get that final shoot date done, and then they really got to knock out the editing. Wait a second, Fleur Drive Brewing. We were actually like Fleur Drive Des Moines.
Yeah, it's just a rip-off.
Oh, okay. So, oh, okay.
All of New York, they do like spoon food.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, thank you.
All right, Planet Photocon, our next
I don't think you knew at all what Fleur Drive is.
Oh, do you?
Nicktoons and Cartoon Network fans.
Okay.
You don't want to miss out on this panel.
So,
Featuring voice actors Olivia Hack, Jenny Kwan, Ian Corlett, and Ben Diskett. It's going to be hosted by Eric Wesselman, and it is upstairs in our Arkansas room starting in just a few minutes.
okay, here's a question for you, Jordan. Were
What?
you more of a Nicktoon or a Cartoon Network?
Whatever was on.
So, did you find yourself watching more Cartoon Network shows or
So,
Nickelodeon
that's-
shows?
I think Nickelodeon ended up being a little bit more present, just because like the Cartoon Network shows were on at a different time.
right.
Like I loved a lot of Cartoon Network shows a lot more than the Nick shows, but like SpongeBob. Oh my god. So I see. I watched SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, all the good ones. But like there was so many more Cartoon Network shows that I liked a lot more. Like Star Wars: The Clone Wars used to be a Cartoon Network show.
Yes.
Or there was Courage the Cowardly Dog, Samurai Jack, Johnny Bravo. Well, yeah.
He's just naming off all the good Cartoon Network shows, man.
And like Grim Adventures of Billy Mandy, and just a lot of those were just ones that I enjoyed more. I just didn't get to see as often.
Yeah, and that to me is like what's the cool part is like, in my opinion, Nicktoons was good, but it kind of sucked because they ended up switching to the more live action in like the
Hi there.
early 2000s.
We're Skullstone Productions. We like to make podcasts. We like to make movies. We're selling hats for $20, wristbands for $1. Fun stuff, you know.
Our thing this week is
Stickers are free. Feel free to take a business card or whatever. There's our CEO right there. What are you talking about? Stop
you're
lying.
our boss.
I keep forgetting about the giveaway, to be honest with you.
Look at that. Our guy is coming in
See,
clutch.
this is why he needs to never leave.
I like to believe that Isaac's coming back with bad news about Philomar because, I mean, then again,
It's Isaac.
Then again,
Isaac is
I
a way
thought
of
he
pulling
was
things
coming
off.
back with bad news from Hornswoggle, but I guess it worked out. So anything is possible with this guy. That's what scares me about Isaac is like he could like come back like all like and then all of a sudden it's like we got in we're in like we're going there like we like auditioned to be in the Queen's Palace and he's like we're in.
Yeah, we're getting knighted by the
We're getting knighted by
Prince
the
Charles.
Queen, and yes, we're gonna be knighted with the sword. We're gonna have Sir in our
Ooh, big
names,
deal.
and we're gonna start talking
Yes.
with British accents, just like the regular Queen.
Oh my goodness.
But it's amazing the work that Isaac can do.
Yeah, he makes things happen. That's why I have the utmost confidence that every idea that he has for a movie is going to be a thing someday.
Has he talked to you about like another idea for a movie? Like any new ideas that like you could like share with the people?
Everyone knows about Following the Buzzards that's coming up after Marketplace. And then there's Project Bayo that's going to be his next, or not next, but like his first big budget movie that he wants. But like he's got a couple other small things that he wants to do, I think. I haven't really talked to him about it much recently, so like I can't say too much. But yeah, he's definitely got numerous ideas cooking up in that big old brain of his.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to keep a lookout for Isaac, when he gets ready to reveal his ideas to the world. All right. We'll wait for Isaac to get back over here.
I know.
And talk a little bit.
Now we gotta wait for him to get back.
Just gotta shoot the shit for a second.
That's what he does.
So Vinny, what have you thought of your con so far?
Of this con?
Yeah.
The first day was a little bit rough, but I have actually enjoyed it a lot. I actually think that this is like one of my favorite ones that I've been to. It's the good thing that I said about it is that it's small.
Yes.
You go to like Des Moines Con, you have 2 rooms that take up a lot of space. You go to Planet Comic Con, you have a football field worth of things to do.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Oh yeah, Planet Comic Con is huge.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Planet Comic Con.
You go to Twin
my
Cities
God.
Con, it's pretty big. Here, it's literally
Much
is
more intimate.
It literally is the size of like I wouldn't say a basketball court, but like it feels more enclosed,
like my
and there's a
school
lot
gymnasium.
more to do.
I was about to say, I was like, school lunch vibes,
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
I was telling him earlier is I am enjoying this so much more. That may or may not have something to do with the amount of Transformers presence here is significantly higher than Des Moines Con.
Well, it's your birthday, so.
Well,
Yes.
No.
It's your birthday.
That's
We're
nothing.
celebrating.
There's no correlation
Happy
there.
birthday
I am certain of that.
to
Actually, your dad did
you.
break the space-time continuum. It's just it doesn't feel any different. This is your birthday now.
Happy birthday
Anyways.
to you.
Isaac, do you have any good news or bad
No, he
news
does
to
not.
share
He
with
has
us?
no good news.
Oh, yeah. We got permission, yeah.
Okay.
I'm
So-
out. I'm out.
No, come here.
That's this guy. That's this guy for you.
Yeah, yeah. Stay over there.
Okay.
Why would you leave?
Because
You
this is
said come here.
ridiculous.
Yeah, come to the mic. He said, I'm out. He'll come to the mic, baby.
Okay. So how did you convince him? Let me hear it.
Okay, I told him, hey, there's people like you that don't have time for a podcast for people like me.
Hi there.
But I just want to say we love doing journalism, and would it be okay to get permission to, I see you have services, or you have rates for videos. On that rate for videos, would it be okay getting me asking you one question and you giving me one answer, and then that's the whole thing? It takes just a few minutes, and he's like, sure, yeah. And then the handler's like, do you have permission from the con? And I'm like, I can get permission from the con. I was like, I know Marcus. I can talk to him. I'll make sure I get approval before I talk to you guys well beforehand. And they're like, okay, cool. Nice to meet you, Phil. And then I walk away, and Marcus is right there. I'm like, hey, Marcus, I need to get permission for something. And of course, Marcus said yes.
So in a sense, we got permission, but we had to also get another permission.
Yep.
So what you're saying is,
And we also,
it was
since
double
he was
permission.
the showrunner, we have permission to interview literally anybody else.
You're kidding.
He said yes to Phil Lamar. Everybody else was probably a yes
Okay,
too.
so the next person I want to get, if we can get him, I am interested in this. Ben Diskin, because I really want to ask him a question about Codename Kids Next Door. Either him
Okay.
or
Go
I
for
would
it.
love to do.
All right, you're doing that yourself.
No, you
Yep.
are giving the.
Well, you need
are
two people
asking,
for the-
You are asking them permission because
No, you're
I
getting
tense up.
permissions. The rule is, and it's been like this the whole time now. It's just it hasn't been a rule. I'm making a new rule. The person who gets permission is the one that's asking the question. I don't want to ask the question to whoever that guy is that you're talking about.
Lester Spate or Ben Deskin.
but you like
Ben.
the Kidnet Star.
Okay, but like, can I at least do Hornswoggle because I really want to do Hornswoggle? Why do I always have to get the small names? And you
Because you're not asking the big names?
You get the big names.
You're not asking the big names.
Do you realize that everybody likes it when I am on?
People like him more. Okay.
Well, yeah, he's got a bigger presence on Instagram.
That's
when he
true.
shares something on Instagram,
But
people are like, "Oh, this is awesome."
Do you realize that I share it because it's me on there? And guess what?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see Vinny.
Yeah, everyone wants to see Benny.
Okay.
So what? What
I was gonna say was-
What question do you have in mind for Phil Lamar?
I told him I'll have to do some research over tonight.
I have a question for you that I think you could ask him after he stops sneezing.
What's that?
I think you should ask him about. This guy is allergic to me. We've been sleeping.
Yeah, we've been sleeping together? Is that what you're going to
We've
say?
been sleeping in the RV.
I stopped myself. I stopped myself before it got even worse. But I would ask him a lot about Samurai Jack and the shift in direction going from Cartoon Network to Adult Swim. Mm-hmm. Just because
he's already been asked that.
But you're asking him.
I'm asking him?
You claim to be.
Yeah,
That's true.
and I claimed Hornswoggle. We can't break the rules sometimes for Vinny.
No.
I think we can.
I believe if it was someone that you really, 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 really wanted to ask someone, you go and ask them.
I did.
No, you
I
didn't.
tried Nostalgia Critic. He said no.
Well, you didn't try Hornswoggle.
I got nervous, dude.
You never know until you try, baby.
You have this thing in life that not many people have. It's called confidence.
And
It's actually
charisma.
charisma.
Yes,
Charisma.
you have
He
both.
will-
You have both.
I don't
You
have
confidence.
confidence. I want you to
Isaac
know.
can
You have
riz the
charisma.
beast.
You know. You can.
I am
you
dying
can
every single
handle,
time I'm
you
asking
can
someone a
handle.
question.
You can handle when people are like, no. Me, as a cold calling person for 2 months, not even making one penny, barely making any yeses, I was so freaking nervous talking to people.
Hey, man.
And that's why when I get a no, I take it personally.
Listen to this. Okay. Back-to-back yeses, I'm still batting a minority for asking celebrities for a question.
Okay.
Okay? It's like sales, okay? Yes, cold calling is hard. I basically do that in person at my full-time job. Okay? You know what a really good day at my full-time job is?
What?
Getting told no 377 times, but it was a great day because 5 people said yes. Okay?
Yeah.
See? Okay? That's what it's going to be like for one good question with celebrities as well. You gotta shoot for the stars. You know why? Because I made the theme colors
going.
platinum
Keep going.
and black.
Keep going.
All right?
Keep
Black
going.
label, platinum series, okay? Platinum people. You
Okay.
gotta shoot for the stars, baby.
Still, my thing is, I just need you to do one for me.
One for you?
Just
So like ask Lester Spite,
no.
but you said to do one for you.
Do
I think
one.
he's talking about-
Ask the person if we can do one.
I need you to start believing in yourself.
I do believe in myself,
Baby
but
girl?
I am also the nervous purd.
I feel like I'm just in the middle of this discussion here.
I felt like
Jordan, what do you think we
I felt like I
should
said
do?
nervous perv, and that's not what it was. I said nervous purd,
Yes.
but it sounded like nervous perv. I'm not.
What's your question?
What do you think we should do?
I think you should just do whatever you need to do.
I think we have enough for the weekend already. That's
I-
what I'm saying.
I would
more
say
is
we should,
always better.
We have 3, which is nice.
Yeah, and then we got 11 back home.
Yeah. One of my friends, the one that I was talking to, the guy with the beard, Tom, he asked me, he's like, hey, I haven't seen my thing yet. I was like, oh, dude, we're
coming.
gonna
It's
push to
coming.
get his out because I want him to see his.
Yeah, sure. If they ask, they automatically become the next one. How
Yes.
about that?
So we got next one that we have coming up is my good friend Aunt Lucia. He's been at a lot of Comic-Cons, the Des Moines area. He just recently traveled to Phoenix for a Phoenix Fan Fusion. He's a
You know,
local
fun
artist.
fact, Aunt Lucia is not the next one.
Really?
Yeah,
It is.
he was 2 weeks ago.
That's right. He was.
Because this episode
I have no
comes
idea what you're
out
talking about.
Yes.
as episode 151.
I
for the
keep
Too Many
forgetting
Words
that we're, like,
podcast,
weeks out, so-
being the second week.
So
in
this will
July.
come out probably when I'm on my way to, or when I'm in Illinois, and my family can watch it all when we're celebrating my cousin getting engaged, baby.
Yep.
Party.
We're gonna party because
Oh, we've
they've
been doing this for 50 minutes now. I
they-
feel like I've been barely part of this episode.
You really
Well, it's 'cause
have.
you
I feel
have.
like, dude, Jordan and I have been talking for at least
We
35
had
of
some
it.
good conversations. Oh, God.
We should get one person from the con on the episode.
Yeah.
Let's.
We're sitting at 50 minutes. We're going to have even less of me. I'm going to leave and ask someone maybe if they want to be on the podcast.
Go
What
ahead,
if we
Sloan.
could get Marcus, dude? Do you know how crazy that would be?
Who?
Marcus.
Who's Marcus? Oh, the actual showrunner.
Yeah. Ask him. Or
Do you have questions for him?
yeah, I got a few I can
All right,
ask.
We can shoot this stuff with Marcus. I'll try to find him.
If he can. I mean, if I feel like with him though, it's kind of busy, but
Should
yes.
we keep going or should we pause it? Okay.
Okay. I mean, what else can we talk about? Can we talk more about like how in the heck he actually gets these people?
I'm gonna be honest.
Dude,
I don't know.
Dude, I mean, like, you look at, like, us trying one time with Ian Cardone from Rick and Morty, and then you see him 3 times, twice.
I think the biggest thing is just context. Those badges definitely weren't on it. They were not going to get us any favors.
That's what I say, too, is, like, it's more of, we're wearing the badges that just say, like, I have, like, the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Or, no, it's not even that. We didn't even have it. We just had the wristbands.
Yeah.
So they see the wristbands and like they just assume. If we had like an exhibitor badge or if we had a press pass, then 100% we'd be on board. And by the way, I think the camera's dying.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's fine though. It's still got one barb, which is it's enough.
Enough.
It'll be enough. That's what I was thinking too. Like, he got permission from the showrunner, right? What if we got permission from the bigger con's showrunner, Ben, for Nerd Street to interview some of those celebrities? Do you think that would work the same way, or like would that be?
I mean, here's the thing, because at the end of the day, it really comes down to the guests themselves.
I think so, yeah.
Because they are the ones that will decide if they want to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is that thing from the actor themselves, like, I don't really know if I want to do this. When it comes to them asking, do you have the...
We will be having 2 7 p.m. after hours events.
Lucky. When you have the celebrity making the call, that's a little bit different. But when they ask you if you have permission, or their handler, most of the time it's their handler asking that. It's not the celebrity themselves. It's actually the handler. And that to me is the hardest part,
That's
is
what I'm
getting past
thinking.
the handler.
What if we go up? If we get permission from the showrunner, and then we go up to the handler, but like, hey, we got permission from whatever to do our short form video content interview. Would that be okay?
That I feel like would actually help us a little bit,
that's
because
like a completely different question from what we asked.
Yeah,
at GalaxyCon.
But in a sense, also that's a little thing too, because it'd be better to get press passes.
Yes,
Because if we have the exhibitor badge,
we're still gonna try to get press passes at some point.
I feel like Nerd Street shows are our best option, because
Yeah.
we've been connected with them for a while, and I feel like Twin Cities Con would be one of my places that I would want to get a press pass at, because
The biggest thing right
Yes.
now about the Nerd Street cons is, since we're already approved for all of them, we'll have to wait until the next year to even
so
try to get
from
a
the
press pass.
sound of it, it sounds as if we would need to, when we sign up again in November,
Mm-hmm.
we would almost have to write on our thing that we don't want exhibitor, we want more press and exhibitor.
The only problem is with the press, we don't get the booth.
Yeah, and that's what sucks. So like, some of us would have to sign up as a press.
So me and Isaac have been talking. We're thinking about doing 2 groups. We're thinking about doing Too Many Words and Scaldstone Productions, and have one of them get the press pass.
Okay.
Or maybe even just one good question. Maybe we do them as the press.
Well, I've been floating around some ideas for one good question. I've thought about merch ideas, maybe even a banner. Y'all like the banner? Great. I'm glad
people
you do.
love the banner.
But I want to
That's the
do
tablecloth.
I want to do some stuff for one good question, because I feel like that's slowly becoming our most popular series, because of the people that we associate with them.
The view counts are definitely showing that, but with short form content, that's always going to have a lot higher view count, because A, it's short form, B, it's like people just scroll through those like repeatedly.
Yeah, and the thing too that I've noticed with that is that They are. What in the actual?
All right. Well, this is the Too Many Words podcast. Thank you for agreeing to be on. That's awesome.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
What is your name, and who are you with here today, I guess?
Yeah, my name is Paul, and I run Collecticon Toys, also known as Collecticon Inc.,
All right.
also known as Collection, which it's not, so don't call it that, please.
I feel like I've heard of like Collecticon Inc. Or
That's me.
I feel like there was a Collecticon, like Comic-Con. That's not.
Yeah, there's a few of those.
Yeah,
And when I find that, there's one in Chicago.
there is. I actually want to go to one day.
It does look pretty cool. Like, they do sort of like artsy stuff. But they do a lot of ads, and I get them, and I'm always like, nice name, guys. And they're always like, well, we can't respond to that. So
That's funny.
I'm watching you guys.
What came first, the Collecticon or Collecticon?
Me. But there's always been, it's not a common name. It's not. I haven't trademarked it yet, but I might have to.
I was gonna say you probably need to jump on that as quickly as you can.
Yeah, that just costs money, and all that does is open the door for costing more money. I know a lot about IP infringement.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
So I got a question for you. So like, how did this fixation of collecting like vintage toys, how did that like come into play for you? Like, was it just something like you did as like a kid and like it kind of like expanded into like the adult life?
I mean, I was ripe for the 80s marketing blast, and I fixated on the Transformers. I didn't watch G.I. Joe or He-Man. I kind of, Robotech was cool, but the cartoon got me, and the toys were cool, and I saw the movie as a kid. So I was just, and luckily my parents would buy me a lot of the toys. Like for Christmas, I'd get maybe one of the City Bots or something. I was pretty fortunate. So I had a pretty good collection, but I played with that stuff.
Yes.
Like I made little movies and stuff. And
You're out.
about the I don't know when the if you know what the alternators are.
Yes.
Or actually, they kind of go in before that. When Car Robots was
Robots,
revealed,
all right.
which was originally called Transformers 2000.
Yes.
I had graduated high school, so I had money. I had graduation money,
Hey, we all know how that goes.
and I spent it all on Car Robots stuff, and it was great.
I know that one. I know that experience a little too well. My introduction actually was Transformers Armada, which was right before Car Robots and
Right after.
right after. Yeah, sorry. Car Robots was right. I had them backwards. So like I graduated in 2016. So that ages me, I guess, dates me. But
Yeah, it does.
I remember. I think I got a lot of graduation money for my first one because I had two. My parents were split, so that's the thing. And I remember spending a lot of that on just figures because that was actually kind of like a renaissance for me because I had stopped collecting for a long time, and then like I was like, what am I gonna do with this? So I was just like, I just bought a couple retro figures from eBay, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm doing this again now.
Yeah, it helps to have. I mean, that's how everyone dips their toe in and then like falls into the pool, kind of you could say. But it really helps to have a focus on what you're going for. Mm-hmm. Stops you from overspending, maybe, and it helps you from buying stuff that you really don't want. Which that's I think every collector gets it. They're like, why did I buy this? Why do I have this?
Half of the time when I get like an action figure, like a WWE figure, I take it home. I'm like, my God, I just spent $20 on this. It's like $20 from my paycheck, and it's just going to that. But my friend, one of my friends, is like a ginormous collector of WWE figures, and I don't think he's regretted any of them.
No.
Yeah. And that's what's so cool is like some people like do not regret any of their purchases because of like how much it means to them. Yeah. Like I feel like as a collector, like for you, like any purchase you make is going to be great because like there's some value to like every piece, like value like price wise, but also like value like you wise, and that's what's so cool about collecting.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I never intend. I know people that rent figures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rent figures?
Yeah. I mean, that's in quotes.
Okay.
rent
Oh.
figures. They buy them,
Yeah,
and
I
they're
know-
like
I know what you
suddenly
mean.
they're selling it at a loss, like however many hours later.
Yeah.
It's funny, like 'cause I feel like that's like a thing too with like because my like fixation is autographs. And
Okay.
it's always like so funny when like people like will go out and like get like a celebrity's autograph, and then like 20 minutes later, it's already on eBay, and
Yeah.
it's just like there's like no fun in that.
Well, that's why the celebrities have gotten hip to that, and like even the voice of Cheetor's here. And I thought about
Yes.
getting a toy signed purely to resell at some point, not like immediately.
Yeah.
But yeah, the price reflects that, and you're like, and it made me. I was like, ugh, I don't know. I don't really like. If it's for me, it's worth it. But when I'm trying to like make it worth that for someone else
Yeah.
and beyond, like, I just was like, nah. Not going to do that. And I'm not really into signatures much. It's never really bitten me.
Yeah.
Because my guy is dead. He's been dead for a long time. Chris Latta isn't around. When I was trying to get that kind of stuff, it's just I never had the allure because the guy I would want to get signed, it's just a non-issue.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But now I do want to meet Steve Buscemi and I want to get a Starscream from Transformers 1 signed by Steve Buscemi because that's a double whammy.
Yes.
That would be really cool.
And I bet it'll be like, you want me to sign this? Like, I'll be like, yeah.
I
Put a
remember
Pulp Fiction quote in there.
when they announced the casting for him, and people were like not a fan of it. From what I had seen, I thought it was genius.
Yeah, it was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a soft spot for Frank Todaro. He's
Yeah.
doing real good. It would have been great, but I mean, even if I was, and I'm not putting words in Frank's mouth, I'd probably be like, it's okay to get bumped for Steve Buscemi.
Yeah. I mean, I would have never thought to do a casting like Steve Buscemi for Starscream. But like when you think about it, his voice and the way it is, it just kind of works a little bit.
Yeah. It's a little more rat trap
Yeah.
than I would really like Starscream to be, but I'll take it. Like
It's good. It's good.
See,
I was happy with it.
Sorry, I'm
more
cutting you off.
jersey.
You're good.
My fixation with an autograph is he still does Comic Cons almost every month. Matthew Lillard.
Yes.
Matthew Lillard is like my favorite actor of all time, and I actually counted the other day. I have 15 autographs from him alone. Half are from
Pump the brakes.
I know, and if you had seen my room, you'd be like, okay, yeah, you need it, because my room is just decked with autographs. Half of my wall is decked with Matthew Lillard from Five Nights at Freddy's or Scream or Scooby Doo, and then I have so many from other movies and actors. I get a lot of them in custom frames, so a lot of my wall space is just custom framing autographs.
That's cool.
So, but it's a cool fixation. So everybody has that fixation. Women, some women have clothing, some women have jewelry, perfume, and but everybody has that fixation, and I love the toy aspect that people have because it's so cool. Collect, and another cool one is baseball cards. If you even go back to the 50s and find a vintage card, like a Mickey Mantle rookie card. That's to me is so cool, is that people still hold on to that even almost 60 years, 70 years actually at this point, 75 years later, holding on to old cards and old toys too. That's what's so cool about collecting.
Well, I actually love, you're talking about baseball cards. Here's a quick story. A friend of mine, I wish I could remember the player. It might have been, it was some no-name Cubs player, from the 80s. And he's like, I want to get a Gem Mint 10 of this guy from the 80s. And he's looking, he's like, they're not even $20. I could get them all. I could have all the graded versions. I'm like, okay, don't do that. Just get the one you want. But I grade my collection, my Starscream toys. I brought a few. Since I'm in my hometown, I brought a few just to show off a little bit. But
Wait, you're from here?
So you're local?
I'm from the Quad Cities. I grew
Really?
up here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I went to Iowa State. So
Roll clones,
So
baby.
am
Cyclones.
Me and
Dogs.
And it's funny too, because I grew up a Hawkeye, because both my parents went to Iowa, and then I go to Iowa State. So
that's funny. That's
So
funny.
you guys are smart. That's good. You guys have IQ.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
I'm being
not-
rude.
yeah. 2024 grad, baby.
but yeah, no. My dad,
2004 here.
when my dad met my
nice.
mom, he lived here, and then eventually I moved here, and then my mom and dad split, and dad stayed here. I went to the Des Moines metro area, a little town called Dallas Center. I lived there for a long time, but I would come back I spent like half my time here because I would come to see Dad on every vacation, every summer, and stuff like that. So I definitely consider myself to be like from the Quad Cities as well. So like I didn't know you were local like that. That's really cool.
Well, I keep it under the radar when I can. But
I did notice you had showed the Masterpiece Starscream, the clear one. I don't want to call it the Ghost of Starscream.
MP3G.
Yeah.
MP3G.
That is like a really high level collector's item. That would be insane.
What's important about that one is if you have the comic book.
Yes.
Because there's an exclusive comic book that wasn't in the box. It was one of those things they just like, if you ordered it from Japan, they just threw it in the box.
Yeah.
And I know I have the comic, but I don't know where it is.
That's the way it goes sometimes.
So really, you should that piece should probably be graded with the comic book inside of it. That's also it's kind of a little too far for me, but I grade them I grade them to keep them safe.
Yeah.
And if you're going to get the box, the acrylic box, you might as well grade it.
Yeah,
you got to send it into AFA, and you got to fill out all the paperwork, and it all costs a ton of money.
So
I don't do it all the time. It's like every 5 years, I'll just like pick out, these are the 10 things I want to grade, or the 5 things, and I send them out.
So you said AFA grades.
Action Figure Authority will grade.
Okay.
stuff.
So like, and what my dad is he's a card collector, like hockey cards and basketball cards. He goes through, I think it's not GSC.
Is it CGC?
CGC
I
goes
think it's
through
the same
CGC, Beckett. I think Beckett or PSA, it's one of them. But their grading system is so rough. He had pulled a mint
weird.
Connor Bedard out of the box, like perfect condition. They gave him a 9.
You know, I mean, it's subjective. You know,
it really
there's
is.
always
And
a level
that's
of
what's
subjectivity. A lot of people, close friends of mine, abhor grading, and it's not something like I don't care if they like it or not because I do it because I want to, and like they're not going to come and.
It's not for you. It's for me.
They're not going to hit their my graded stuff with a hammer and be like, see. I got you, because then I would kill them. But you know, it's a personal thing. I like to do it, but it's kind of a mystery to like 90% of the collecting world. So that's the only reason I brought it up. I guess just sort of out there a little bit.
I do have a real quick question.
Sure.
When did you kind of pivot from just collecting to also
selling?
I
have always. How do I mean, I got to answer the question succinctly. No one wants to hear the whole thing. I said I don't rent figures. I was kind of getting to the point of that was to say I buy things and I keep them. Like I almost always keep them.
That's the thing for me too.
But I had all my childhood toys that I mentioned all loose, but I kept some of the boxes. And as you know, with G1 toys, sure, the boxes are great, but the bubbles are all torn inside, and like maybe you don't have the instructions. I don't know. When I moved to Chicago and got in my house, so around when Masterpiece kind of was taken off, I was like, listen, I don't need G1 Micromaster bases. You know, I don't need Pretenders. You know, which, you know, mistake. Future Paul is telling past Paul, why did you do this? But I sold off all my toys and I made a few grand. You know, I'm like, oh, now I can buy Masterpiece stuff or whatever I want. And that kind of leapfrogged for a lot of time. Then the movie came out, 2007.
Changed the game. Changed
everything, but I anticipated this. I was like, all right, I'm going character collecting, which is why, you know, when I talk about Starscreams, if it has Starscream written on the box, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
One way or another, hell or high water, I'm going to find I'll kill someone.
Get you one way.
And I'm going to get it.
My number one's Wheeljack, personally. But
that's a good one. But I also, you know, most people, I always say, collect characters to whittle down, like to put horse blinders on and don't get all this stuff. Well, it's tough when you decide to collect Optimus Prime and Bumblebee and Megatron and Soundwave and Starscream, you know, like all the A-listers. And then this movie comes out and, you know, there were like maybe a dozen Bumblebee toys before 2007 in any shape or form. Yeah. It's like, oh, I got the Action Master. I'm so crazy, I have Goldbug. But then there were like 200 new Bumblebee toys.
Yes.
And that got crazy. So
the release of that 07 movie absolutely changed the game, and it's insane.
Was that the Michael Bay directed the 07 movie, right?
Oh yeah. He's back.
I
Yeah.
know.
He's back. I saw that.
Okay, what do you think of Michael Bay and the Transformer movies? Did you think they were okay?
The movies?
Yes.
I also am curious about this because, like,
Yeah, because like as
I want to say no comment, but they suck. They're not good.
I don't. Okay, so
The first one's okay, all right?
they are.
I
I don't want to piss off all the babies.
I can't see. Granted, I told you my first was Armada. I'm a younger generation of Transformers fan. I enjoyed the movies. They are objectively bad.
objectively bad.
That's just a fact. But that's not why you watch them. So like,
They're bad, but like, I watched that 2007 movie like last year, and I was like, there are so many classic moments in this movie. This is incredible.
this is a buddy of Vinny's over here.
Is that Snowballs?
Yeah, Snowballs.
Snowballs is back.
I'll work on it. Eventually, I feel like you guys just need to talk.
I mean, if you want to,
yes.
all right, we'll close you out, and I will just keep talking to this guy. Have a good one, Vinny.
You too. Thanks a lot.
Actually, you know what?
Good talking to you. So wait,
All right.
I feel like I went on a tangent. I didn't answer your first question. Now we're talking about the movie. But like, how did I transition into selling? I did sort of was selling my collection a little bit, and sometimes I'd buy doubles. I'm like, I think this is gonna appreciate. And here's the story. Here's the secret about Transformers. They have like a 90% of the products appreciate. It just matters how long can you hold on to it.
Exactly.
And
Exactly. Like,
so I got into e-commerce beyond eBay in about 2009, and I had a pretty successful company. And it kind of fell apart after 11 years, and I was like, I want to do this toy. I want to do a business with inventory, and let's just try selling the Transformers. I had a network at this point. I'm like, I can wholesale the stuff.
oh yeah.
If come hell or high water, I can like probably wholesale it off to my friends in Chicago, but hopefully I can make a profit. And a friend of ours who was also trying to do that kind of fell out of it. He's like, I'm going to shut down. I'm like, well, can I have your wholesale accounts at HLJ, and variety of other locations? And he's like, sure. He's like, by the way, I owe him money for all this stock that I was gonna bail on him. And I was like, oh, I'll take it. I'll make the order. And I got married, and on the honeymoon, I placed the first order for the wholesale stock. And when I got back from Bali, there it was. And I was like, okay,
Look at that.
It's time to party. And I started Collecticon Toys as the website. But I've always had this. There's been big plans for Collecticon as like a brand and a product or a service for the fandom that has not yet been realized. So it was a blog, now it's a store.
So what you're saying is you're the next Big Bag Toy Store?
Never. I mean, they're too good. They're the originators. They're the innovators of the space. I mean, I got nothing bad to say about them at
I
all.
bought a couple things off of them. They've treated me pretty well over the years. TF Source, maybe not so much, but
Well, I used to work for TF Source a little
Really?
bit, honestly. Yeah. I did. If you go on their YouTube channel and you look at the reviews, I made every single one of those.
Really?
And they have like hundreds of thousands of views. they were pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well,
I'm not saying they're the greatest thing on earth, but they're there, so check them out.
well, hey.
And I know I probably shouldn't comment on other sellers, but like a lot of them get a bad rap. Like what you said. I'm not surprised you said that about TF Source, but I respect TF Source a lot.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm also an avid YouTube watcher, and what's his Pia, I think.
Pia, yeah.
I love watching him, and he's been like
he took. I think he kind of like took on after me after I quit doing those videos. Like they used him as a sponsor.
yeah,
guy.
like he's like their number one thing. So like, so I can't give him too bad of a rap. He's one of my favorite content creators for Transformers. So,
he's a classic.
yes. And not to say TF Source hasn't done good things for me. Like they shipped out the Fans Hobby, so they did the Armada Optimus Prime, they did the Shattered Glass one, the limited run, and they did all three sections. They did the Jetfire, they did the Overlord.
Yep.
They shipped out the Overlord. That shipped to me like 2 weeks early. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there's no such thing as toy release dates.
True, absolutely.
Which is,
true.
I always tell people that, and they're like, "What are you talking about? Pulse this comes out on August 57th," and I'm like, Well, wait till that day comes and see what the fuck comes in your door. It's not happening.
Don't even get me started on Hasbro Pulse. Oh my goodness. There's times where like I put in the pre-order and I don't get it for a month later.
Well, it's just there are so international translog is a disaster, especially now with the tariffs. I mean, good God, I don't want to talk about that stuff, but I'm just saying, like, toys don't have release dates. Video games and media have release dates because it's all the same size.
Yes.
It's a very they have figured it out. They get a box. They get a box this big that you can fit in your hands, and that's all they got to sell. Well, each toy is that big, so every toy is a different size. The translog is a different story every time. So it's almost impossible to predict how they're going to get it off the truck, on the train, and get it to the stores and distribute out to the thing, because it's just a Wild West thing. So it's always a window. It's a release window. And sometimes I get stuff really early. I got Star Optimus Prime. I'm already sold out of it.
I
sold out
that.
of that. I took it to BotCon and I was like a savior, Like I sold them all.
Like there was a lot of people that have had them already, and there's like a lot of people that are like, I'm not gonna get mine for a while now. Still, I'm like, whoa.
Well, yeah, and it always kind of. I mean, the eagerness to get your toy is a real thing.
Oh yeah.
And everybody is like, if someone gets it first, like, where'd you get it? Where'd you get it? Where'd you get it? It's like, well, what do you mean? You already. Whoa! You already pre-ordered it from site X, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're going to cancel that pre-order and buy it from the place that has a site? That's so rude. Like, it's so rude.
I will
But this is
admit,
coming from a seller, so
there
I'm biased.
are times that I have found a figure that I pre-ordered in a Walmart store, like just a legacy figure or something like that, where then I then proceeded to cancel the pre-order and buy that. But
yeah, I mean, I'm not ragging on that. That happens. You know, that happens all the time, and it's in the the buyer should have the ability to make the choice like that.
Yeah.
But when people buy, I have different policies, and this probably sounds bad. You guys are all gonna be like, "Fuck that guy," but like when people pre-order for me, I make them pay up front.
Yes.
Okay, because in my opinion, it's better to. The money's out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly.
You don't have people being like, oh, the credit card payment came in. Oh, man. It's like, well, the money's already gone. So as soon as I get it, it's out the door.
Yeah.
But if other people call like, hey, I found it at Walmart, I'm going to cancel my pre-order. And I'm like, oh, no. You just bought it twice. That's all you did. No, let me clarify that for you. You bought it twice, and it'll be there next week. Thanks.
Okay. I do respect that because, like, I work in retail as well.
It's hell, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's hell.
So I definitely see the business, the whole seller standpoint. I see that greatly. Yeah. So I won't. Yeah.
Yeah. I just like to tell it how it is, and I don't sugarcoat it.
Exactly.
But like, it's a tough business.
Yeah. I can imagine.
It's very hard. The margins are super thin. Unless you're Walmart or Target, you're paying like. You're hardly getting it at wholesale price, okay? I mean, you are just basically getting a slight discount. And then you go to retail. Target's discounting the toy for less than you bought at retail or for wholesale, and you're just like, put the gun to my head. How many guns you got? put them wherever you want. Anyways, I'm trying to make some video content, and I'm not on my Collecticon YouTube channel, so like...
Collecticon YouTube? All right,
yeah,
well, shout you out. Shout yourself out.
It's at Collecticon everywhere.
You? Where can we... Yeah.
So I try to do like maybe one video a month, and I try to make them more like me just kind of shooting from the hip and then putting video. I'm not competing with Slag Podcast or anything. He's on it. I'm just trying to kind of shoot the shit a bit. And I'm trying to promote my Whatnot a lot right now.
Okay.
I've been doing it for about 2 months. It's been very successful. It's kind of changing my business a little bit. So. At Collecticon on there, at Collecticon on X, Blue Sky, all that stuff. So it's pretty much universal. I'm on TikTok too, but I really don't cultivate that channel.
Yeah.
You can't do them all.
Our TikTok's that's probably where we're the least present. So I understand that one a lot.
It's hard. It's hard stuff. But yeah, I should probably run because I still got to run this table.
Well, hey man, thank you for coming on. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for asking me to be on.
I don't get this experience very often. I do not know any other Transformers fans other than maybe my dad, but like he was a fan in the 80s. So like,
I'm surrounded by them, digitally at least.
Yeah, digitally I understand. I don't have any friends that do that. So yeah, Of course. Thank you for coming on and talking to me about this or talking to
I can talk about robots all day. I mean, that's why when I do these shows, all I'm doing, I'm not trying to hard sell people. I'm just like, yo, who's your favorite character? Like, oh, you like Transformers 1? You know, like we just geek about stuff, and sometimes people buy stuff, sometimes they don't. Whatever. It's great.
Hello, this is our first interview of Sunday Planet FunkCon. We are honored to say that right here on the Too Many Words podcast, we have Patricia Patts, a voice actor for Peppermint Patty. How you doing, Patricia?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Awesome.
We're doing wonderful.
Good.
So, right before we started recording, I was just down talking to you about how your socials aren't exactly about you, but it's about a podcast that you run. So you're kind of a little bit experienced in this realm anyways. You want to tell us about that?
A little bit. So I started a podcast. It's called The Peanuts Gallery. And we focus on the psychological issues of the Peanuts characters and how they relate to us today. We have a lot of depression and anxiety in our realm right at the moment, and Charlie Brown had chronic depression.
Yeah.
Linus had major anxiety issues. That's why he carried the blanket with him. Lucy was a narcissist, which we've all had to deal with. And so we look at how we can relate to these characters today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of a fun little, dive into the Peanuts world.
Yeah, that
is awesome.
Yeah, like out of all the people that have been connected to the production of what is Peanuts, for you to be the one that has the podcast, is there other people who have gone through production, have their own podcast on it?
So they recently started a podcast. I think it's called You Don't Know Peanuts.
Okay.
And that's being run by, I think, the Schultz Museum.
Ooh.
And there's some podcasts that are out there that have been around for a really long time. Unpacking Peanuts is one of them, and they actually go through each of the strips and analyze each of the strips.
That's
because
interesting.
all three of them that do it are artists themselves, and have had successful cartoons themselves, but all three of them were just such huge fans of Charles Schulz and the work that he did that they've been doing this thing for years now.
And that's what I find so interesting too, is like how it all started as like just a newspaper comic that Schulz was writing, and turned into this like humongous thing with TV specials and merchandise, and like it turned into this huge empire. And that's what's so cool about the Peanuts, is like how they became this massive thing from just like a newspaper funnies almost.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about the merchandising, because it wasn't done before, they hadn't merchandised cartoons and television shows. Not really. There was a woman who came to him, and she wanted to do a coloring book. And he thought it was kind of a cool idea. And so she took it to a bunch of publishers, and nobody would do it.
Wow.
They were like, why would anybody want to draw Snoopy? Like, it's already, why would they want to color him in? Like, that just doesn't make sense. So she and her husband found the money to self-produce this coloring book, and it sold out.
Nice.
Really?
How about that?
And everybody that had accepted the coloring book in their store was like, more. So she started coming to him with more and more ideas. Hey, what if we made plushies? What if we did this? What if we did that? And so she really spearheaded all of the design ideas in those early years. And so all of the merchandising, and so even outside of the realms of Peanuts, so much can be pointed back to her.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't done on that level before.
Yeah.
So like you said, like coloring books was like the first piece of merchandise for the Peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's insane to think about. Like it started out as like something that like kids do.
Yes.
And they could see the market was there immediately.
Yes.
And I think that's just so. Like, but it's also funny too. Like you said, she had said like nobody would want to do this. Why would they want to color it? It's like she had those assumptions at first, but never really had thought about it. And that she put it out there and was like, hey, there is an appeal to this. There is a market. We have to get this thing rolling. So I think that's so cool. Like how she had her doubts, but they did it anyway. And here we are now, many years later.
But the other thing to think about is that it was the 50s.
Yeah.
And it was a woman.
Oh.
Right.
And he said yes. And when you think about the time frame, you know, most young people don't know that. So my character was born in 1966.
Yeah.
In 1966, a woman could not own her own house. She could not have a checking account by herself. She could not have a credit card, not even a department store credit card, unless her husband backed it.
Wow.
It didn't matter if she had a job, didn't matter if she had $1 million in the bank. She could not own a house unless her husband or her father's name was listed on the deed, even if she paid cash for it.
That's crazy to think about.
Right?
Okay.
And so here this woman came in with this idea, and he went, yeah, run with it.
That's pretty significant.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And it reflects in this character that he made of Peppermint Patty, with her leadership skills, with her the way she interacts with the other characters, the way they interact with her. It's never her friend base that has said, you can't do that, you're a girl, right?
Yeah.
All of her friend base was like, well, of course she can do that. She's Peppermint Patty.
And that's what's so cool is like they're all supportive of her.
And she's supportive of them.
Exactly.
And it really is such a great example of what friendship should look like. And I think we're missing that in a lot of the newer cartoons.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing you bring up. But like the newer cartoons, like don't show that as often. And but like the Peanuts doing that, especially back then, and like in the Thanksgiving special, having what's his name, the African American kid, Franklin, yeah, having him sit at the table, and like it had never really had been done before.
Oh, it had never been done, and in fact, the network said you can't do that. Take him out.
Yeah,
he can't sit at the table with them.
Yeah, and Peanuts is pushing the boundaries.
He did over and over and over again. And his one concession with that was that he put Franklin on the opposite side of the table by himself. But they wanted him out of the special altogether. And Schulz said, no, he's going to be in it. That's the way I've written it. You don't like it? We don't ever have to do a special again.
Schulz is the man. He's pushing back against it. It's like almost like pushing back against the censorship because they didn't want to have that in there.
Yes.
And he's fighting against it. And that's what makes, in my opinion, that's what makes Charles M. Schulz one of the most prolific like writers and just prolific people.
Yes.
Who's pushing back against all this like negativity and wanting to showcase how we all need to come together.
Yes.
And like be just like and just be together almost.
The other thing that most people don't know is about Title IX. Title IX in the old days, if women wanted to be in sports, they had to raise every single dime themselves. Oh. They were not given any federal funds or state funds for their hobbies, whether it was cheerleading, basketball, volleyball, any of it. And he was very good friends with Billie Jean King, and she was complaining about the fact that she couldn't get into Congress anymore. Nobody would take her calls. And he was like, well, I'll go down there. And he did. He went and knocked on doors, and he said, hey, I'm the creator of Snoopy. Can I come in? Hey, let me talk to you about Title IX.
Nice.
And he was absolutely instrumental in getting that legislation passed. So when you watch women's basketball, women's volleyball, the professional leagues, all of that is from Title IX. Nice. Because women who couldn't have afforded sports otherwise were now able to play.
Hearing all this stuff now makes me love this guy
even more.
Like
I
this,
know.
what he has done for the world
Yes.
is just beautiful.
Yes.
And like I said, that's what makes him one of my favorite writers, is that he's doing all this stuff and like helping the world be a better place, you know?
Yeah. And then on top of that, he was just a genuinely nice human being. He treated us kids so well. I've spoken to so many of the other voices, and they all say it was the greatest experience because we were treated like humans.
Exactly.
We were given respect.
Yeah.
And we knew we were in a safe, creative place, and it was just the best experience.
And that's like what I wanted to ask. Like, did you like I know, like, you know, voice acting back then, like for the specials, like he was like there, like with you guys and like helping you. Was he helping you, like, kind of like be like, okay, for this line, I want you to kind of go a little bit more aggressive with it, if you want.
So that was our director.
Okay.
That was Bill Melendez.
Yes.
And Bill was actually every voice that was not a child's voice.
Oh, the Wah-Wahs?
The Wah-Wahs were him.
Wow.
Any of the Snoopy, you know, any of the Woodstock, anything
Gotcha.
that was not a child was our director, Bill Melendez.
So we finally found the voice behind the wah, wah,
Yep,
wah, wah,
yeah.
wah.
From my understanding is it's a mixture of his voice and a muted trombone.
I was gonna say it sounded a lot like a muted trombone.
Okay.
Like
Yes.
when I rewatched it, and like as somebody who was going to play the trombone, I know about that whole, like, you know, covering it up and like muting it. It makes that kind of like womp womp noise.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it did sound like back then as like a muted trombone, like he's like pushing out like the thing to like
Yeah.
give it that effect.
Yeah. So Bill would sometimes, with some of the actors, he would read the lines to them and have them repeat the line back. My understanding is that Sparky, so
Yeah.
Charles Schulz, his nickname was Sparky.
Ha.
I always have to clarify that.
Yeah.
So Sparky was not at most of the sessions. He was at my session, and so I was lucky enough to get some pictures with him.
And don't you have one at your booth
I
right now?
do.
I have
I
seen
have
that one.
one.
It's so cool, and I really want to buy that. So it's a unique photo of
It
just you and the
is.
creator of all of the Peanuts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And so some of the kids never met him. And some of the kids, like the kids that were on the Charlie Brown and Snoopy show, he was there every single week working with them. Because he was really invested in the Charlie Brown and Snoopy show. And so he was there all the time. So it just kind of depended on the cast, and I think probably what was going on in his personal life at the time, whether he was there or not.
yeah, because I would think, like, especially like, because when did he stop writing the comics? Like
When
like,
he died.
when he was going till the day, because like I feel like
He died the day of his last strip,
really.
which he had put in a week or two before he passed. He knew he was sick. He knew he was dying.
Yeah, because he died when was it, like in the
2000.
Oh, he died in 2000.
2000.
Oh wow, I thought
And
it was like the
he
80s.
had specifically asked that nobody take over the strip and continue it, that they just do reruns of his work. And so he wrote a letter for his last strip. Everybody in the industry knew that he was retiring, that he was passing away. He was very involved in the Cartoonists Society of America or something like that. And so everybody knew him. Everybody looked up to him. Any of the young cartoonists that were out there at the time had grown up on Peanuts. They had their first drawings were Charlie Brown, were Snoopy. So they had all gotten together and written strips with the characters in it, or talking about the characters, and the plan had been to put this out before he passed away, but he passed away on the day that his came out. The next week, the entire newspaper comics page was dedicated to him.
That's cool.
That is
It
adorable.
was really cool.
That is
It was really
adorable.
cool. He was really loved.
It's something too about Scholl's was, and personally for me, is the Christmas special when he
Yeah.
wrote in the part when they're all they're fumbling the whole play, and then all of a sudden here comes Linus, who reads the Bible passage.
Yes.
And it's giving me goosebumps now thinking about it when he mentions the "Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings," and he drops his blanket, and,
Right.
it's giving me goosebumps right now thinking about it. It's so perfect, and it's a little detail that you wouldn't notice, but when he says "Fear not," he drops his safety blanket, and I think that's
Yes.
what's so cool about Shoals is like he brought in that religious factor too.
Yes, and he fought for that.
He did?
He did. The powers that be did not want any religious affiliation in it. And again, he put his foot down and he said, no, this is what I've written. This is what we're going to do. If you don't like it, we don't have to do a special. I don't need this. Like, this is kind of complicated my life. But I'm fine not doing it.
Oh my goodness, just hearing all this stuff about him putting his foot down for like, women's stuff, the religious factors, Franklin.
Yeah.
It's so much fun hearing all these stories and learning more about the Peanuts that probably most people wouldn't know about.
Yeah.
Like behind the scenes stuff.
I'm
But
kind
it's
of
awesome.
a Peanuts nerd.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're actually very much a historian on a lot of this stuff. You're very
lot
well
of this
educated,
stuff, yeah.
not on just Peanuts, but like the historical context of things as well.
Yeah.
So you know all that.
Yeah.
But let's get to know a little bit more about Patricia.
Uh-oh.
So
It's all lies. Lies, I tell you, lies.
So I bragged to my Nana about how I met you and stuff,
Okay.
and she's like, "Oh, is she the original voice actor for Peppermint Patty?" And I did some research, and I think you're the first successor. Is that correct?
No, I am number 6.
Number 6.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because the time frame for little children voices are very short. I
About
guess
3 years.
I was gonna
for each
say
of us.
I looked it up online and I was
Yeah.
like looking like it was like 3 specials and then and then it would be a change and
Yeah.
it was interesting too because it looked as if Peppermint Patty had both female and male
Yes.
voice
There's
voices.
a few guys that did Peppermint Patty. There's actually a female who did Charlie Brown.
Really?
What do you know?
Yes.
Kind of like Timmy Turner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was
It's
really
like a
more
Timmy Turner
about
effect.
the quality of the voice than male or female for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I want to know about you is what it was like taking on being the next person to voice Peppermint Patty at such a young age. What was that like for you?
I didn't get intimidated by stuff like that.
Well, how about that?
I was a really fearless kid.
Tough as nails, Patricia Patts.
There you go.
Heck yeah.
I wish I'd stayed that way.
Oh,
But life gets the better of you sometimes.
sometimes.
But I was just absolutely fearless as a kid. I honestly believed that all adults liked me. I knew kids.
That's a good way.
Kids didn't always like me, but adults always seemed to. As I got older, I found out they were just better liars.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I didn't go into it with the idea that I was following in somebody's footsteps. They hired me, they wanted me, I must have been the right person for the job.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Peppermint Patty is one of probably the most iconic Peanuts characters in the female role.
Thank you.
And we talked about this yesterday of her, her issues in school.
Yeah.
And for me, like I said, I had issues in school too. Given this more modern setting, do you think that she would excel, or do you think that she'd probably be still her she wouldn't do as well? But because in the 50s and 60s and 70s, things were a lot different. But in the more modern setting now, I feel like everybody's trying to help each other. So. Do you think it's she would be a little bit?
I think she would have gotten a little more specialized help. The general consensus is that she had dyslexia.
Yes.
She probably had ADHD. And so nowadays she would get medication that would help her to focus.
Yeah.
She would have had an IEP. And would have gotten specialized help learning how to read at a younger age. And so she wouldn't have... I wonder sometimes if the medication doesn't stop some people from reaching for those other things that they are good at.
Right.
Because they're not good at this one thing. And we put so much focus and attention on schooling, and you got to do good, and you got to get good grades, and you got to have all this stuff on your resume before you even graduate high school,
And you
you
gotta
got
go
to
to
know
college.
what your college goals are, and it's really like, I remember my daughter coming home in the 3rd grade and being freaked out and being like, Mom, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And I was like, you don't have to know that. You're like in the 3rd grade. And she was like, no, I have to know my focus now so I know what to take in the coming years and I know where to go to college and so I can get a good job. And I was just like, dude,
That's a lot of pressure.
you're like not even 10.
I was gonna say, like, you're not even 8 yet. You got a lot of years ahead of you to think.
Relax, like, and so I think we put way too much pressure on kids in a not good way. I wish there was more opportunities. You know, I'm a Gen Xer. I was born in 1967, and we were feral.
Yeah.
We ran the streets. We went anywhere we wanted to go. I mapped one day this bike route that we used to take.
Nice.
And it was 5 miles.
I was about to ask if you get
Like,
a kid
I
on a
could-
bike in that time.
Right? I couldn't even walk 5 miles today. That's a whole other story. So, you know, we weren't allowed to be in the house. Like, it wasn't expected of us to be in the house.
Yeah.
And so we didn't watch TV. We didn't play video games. We were out running around being kids, having fun.
For sure.
And it's such a different world than it was back then.
Mm-hmm.
And kids aren't allowed out of the house. They're not allowed to play. So they're not making those social connections that the Peanuts kids had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, you need that basis of friendship. You need to learn those conflicts, how to solve those conflicts without a parent around to go, no, you apologize to Billy, you know. And so I think it's caused a lot of other societal issues that we don't have that freedom anymore for our kids.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, like it's a lot different now because like nowadays kids just meet each other online. They have all the video games, they have like chat rooms, they have all that. And the Peanuts back then, the thing was also like they lived in such a small place, they all knew each other.
Yes.
And they all and like think about like the ice skating or the baseball or like one of my favorites was dirt biking, that when Peppermint Patty and Charlie Brown faced off in the dirt bike.
Yes.
But like they did just things that like, especially back then, you wanted to do. You wanted to be outside. You wanted to be active. You wanted to be, you know, work like meeting people. And like that's what made Peanuts so cool, is like it showed like, hey, get out there and just meet people, be friends, do good for the community. But that's what was like so cool back then with the Peanuts. And then now looking on it, like looking at our society today, it's like we've changed so much.
Yeah.
And it's tough to think about.
In hindsight, there's like, of course, want-was in every episode or every special, but it's not often, you know? It's like mostly it's just those kids doing their own thing, you know?
It is. And they ran the streets and they went from place to place. Peppermint Patty's character doesn't have a mother.
Yeah.
And he never explains why she doesn't have a mother, but she is being raised by her single dad who works 3rd shift. And so part of why she's always falling asleep is because she waits for her dad to get home from work.
Yeah.
Alone in their house.
Yeah.
And they're all supposed to be 8 years old.
Yeah.
But that's cool too, of like showing like that side of like, you know, a family, like a single parent, and they only have it's just 2 people, a single parent and their kid, and the kid just, you know, they can't do stuff, especially like 8 years old as Peppermint Patty was. They have to kind of wait for their parents, and you know, sometimes they get home from they work a night shift and like.
Well, but the thing was that the kids did all that stuff by themselves.
Right.
Peppermint Patty would have made herself dinner. She would have made herself dinner, and she would have put something in the fridge for her dad to eat later.
Yeah.
I started cooking a full turkey meal when I was 7 years old.
Oh, what do you know?
Wow.
Like, I
That's-
could do Thanksgiving all alone by 7.
How
Now,
about
of
that?
course, my mom was there and my grandmother was usually there, but I knew all the steps. I knew I could do it all
Right.
Impressive.
at 7.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, I talk to people now and they're like, yeah, I don't know how to boil water.
Yeah. Oh.
You can put that on the stove, not just in the microwave?
That is what's so funny is like back then, like you said, like the kids were doing all this stuff and like helping out in the kitchen and stuff. Nowadays, kids are like, I'll just have AI help me with that. It's like they're not learning these like things. They're just asking like a random website to like show them like the steps. It's like learn it yourself. That's what kids did back then. Was like they learned it themselves, and now you are asking AI to show you. It's like you're not learning anything.
When my daughter moved out on her own for the first time, she calls me up. She had roommates, and she goes, "Mom, they don't know how to use a washing machine. Like, these two have never washed their own clothes. How do you get to be 18 years old and never washed your own clothes?" And I was like, I don't know, because I wasn't going to let you get away with that.
Funny, yes.
Say,
yeah.
I don't want you to be too late for the start of the show.
Yes.
I got one very, very important question for you.
Okay.
Can you tell us about your dogs?
My dogs?
Yeah, let's talk about your dogs.
Oh, my dogs.
Do they resemble Snoopy at all? Is there any history?
They do not.
Okay.
They do not. So I got my first, of the 3 that I currently have.
Yeah.
I got my first one. He was about 9 months old. He'd been to 6 different homes already. He psychologically was an absolute mess. He's a little Maltese-Schnauzer mix. He's turned into a really fabulous dog that when I go out of town, everybody's like, "Oh, let me have Sammy. I'll take Sammy." About a year and a half ago, I went to my local pound.
Okay.
I was thinking it would be nice to have a younger dog since mine was getting older. I didn't want a situation where I didn't suddenly have a dog.
Yeah.
And so I walked in and I said, "Do you have any small dogs?" And they said, "Oh, no, they go so fast. The only small dog we have is the Mama Pomeranian and her 2 puppies." And I went, "Say what?" And so I walked out the door with a Mama Pomeranian, purebred, and her 2 7-day-old puppies.
Aww.
I fostered them. And Mama went to a family in town that only rescues Pomeranians.
Wow.
So she was taken off the breeding train
What do you
that
know?
she had been on. And one of the dogs went to my bestie. His name is Benito.
Okay.
Awesome.
And I kept the little girl. Her name is Charlie Brown.
All
What do you know?
I spell it C-H-A-R capital L-E-I-G-H.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
Unfortunately, my friend passed away, and so
Yes.
her dog came to live with me.
That's so
Yes.
cute.
And so now we're just a little family all together, and I'm very grateful that I have a great sitter at home that comes over and stays at the house for me while I get to come to Comic-Cons.
Yeah, and be on super
Nice,
lame
nice.
podcasts all the time. you know?
Nice.
But hey,
No, I
have-
love doing podcasts.
Yes.
I think they're so great.
I do
Yeah.
have one quick question.
Yeah, one more.
Yeah, one more question. Is there a line of Peppermint Patties that you are like, this is one of my favorites, like, and like that even like makes you laugh to this day, like, oh my gosh, this is such
memorable lines.
memorable lines of Peppermint Patties, because like you were in 3 specials, right?
I was in You're the Greatest, Charlie Brown, She's a Good Skate, Charlie Brown, and Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown, and Don't Come Back.
Okay.
So all of the things that are my favorites, so in Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown, they're on the airplane, and she's yelling at Charlie Brown through the plane, and she's going, "Hey, Chuck, I hope you're okay, Chuck." and my voice cracked
Oh.
in the middle of filming it. And they all thought it was hysterical, and I was like, do not use that take. Of course, that's the take that they
course it was.
used.
All
Yeah.
right, that's
So
hilarious.
that always makes me laugh. And in She's a Good Skate, Charlie Brown, little background for those that don't know, I was the original Los Angeles Annie in 1978 and 79.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's how they met me, was I was doing the play, they came to see it, they offered me the role. In She's a Good Skate, Charlie Brown, there's a little point where she has Marcy make a dress for her. Marcy totally messes it up. Snoopy comes in, pins flying, saves the day. And then she says, now if you could just do something with my mousy blah hair. And he walks off screen, and he comes back on again with a big box. And he takes the top off, and he puts the Annie wig on her head. And she does a deadpan to the fourth wall. And that moment just makes me laugh every time I see it, because it was a little inside joke.
That
Love
is,
that.
and like
Yeah.
they tell you like ahead of time, like, oh, we're gonna.
No.
Like, so like, you had found out like, because that's the thing I've wondered about like voice acting is like, do you see like, do you see like the animation before you go like before
No.
you record? So it's all like you record the voice first and then they go edit everything.
And they go edit it.
And then
Now,
animate.
I was in LA and I was doing some overdubs, and I came to a studio, and there was a guy working on cleanup. They're making sure that everything is smooth, that from screen from each panel to the next, and so no sound. He's just looking at the screen. And he's like, oh, would you like to see what I'm working on? And my mom and I were like, sure, that'd be great. And it was that particular scene.
Ha.
And he pops the red wig on, and my mother and I lose it. And the guy goes, why is that so funny? And I'm like, 'cause I'm Annie. And he goes, oh, that is funny.
That is funny.
It's a special memory that I have with my mom, who's passed on. So yeah, those are probably my favorites as far as Peppermint Patty is concerned.
that is awesome. I always
Okay.
love asking, like, you know, like especially like an actor, like you have any like memorable like lines or like like instances on like the show, like they still stick to you all these years later. So
Yeah, you
hearing
did great.
that is awesome.
Thank you.
So, Patricia, we loved having you on.
Thank you. It was
real
my
quick,
pleasure.
Where can the good people find you if they're interested in following up?
So the one that I'm most on is Facebook, and I am Patricia Patts, a voice actor. I'm on Instagram. I forget it's there half the time.
Yep.
But that is Patricia Peppermint Patty Patts. I have a website, patriciapatts.com. Again, I'm not as good about being on there as I should be. So Facebook is...
For sure.
Yeah.
To
Awesome.
quote you, Instagram's for young people, Facebook's for old people.
right? And I'm
But
old.
yes, thank you so much, Patricia.
Oh, you're so welcome.
This was a lovely
was a
time.
joy.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yes.
You've been awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
What's going on, everybody? I am Vinny Cataldo, and I'm here today with the awesome Janeshia Adams Ginyard. Woo! You may know her from awesome things like she's played in Black Panther. She's had an amazing stunt career. I actually
Yes.
just found that out the other day.
Oh, wow. I'm Emmy nominated in my stunt.
Exactly, yes. But a lot of people probably do know you the best as the voice of Panderverse Eric Cartmen on the recent special South Park Into the Panderverse.
Yes.
And I do want to get into that a little bit. You know, had you been a fan of the show before going into the audition and stuff, and like had you like known of the show, and when you found out they were auditioning, like what was kind of your reaction of, oh, they're looking for this kind of person to like this like kind of like individual like play like in this little segment. So like what was kind of like your reaction to like finding out about this audition?
Yeah, so first of all, thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely,
I'm super
it's
excited.
our pleasure.
And I have been a fan of South Park since the beginning of time, okay? Like, loved South Park. I grew up watching the show. I could recite, shut your fucking face, I'm gonna fuck on. Like, I knew, like, all the lyrics of, like, all the songs. So when I actually got the audition notice, because it was an audition notice that came through to my agent, it literally just said strong African American female.
Nice.
Like that was like the role, and I'm like, strong African American female. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me. I got
Yes,
this shit.
yes.
Yeah.
Nice. So, and then you got, so we talked about this the other day.
Yes.
You had sent in 2 voice lines. Is that you? So
Look, they had a whole list of like different phrases to say. Like one of them was like, so there was like 5. Basically, it was almost every line from the bus stop scene.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And so it was like, woman 1 or whatever. Like you had no idea what it was, right? But remember, the role was strong African American female.
Yes.
So I remember, who you calling fat, you heathen bitch? Like that was one of the lines, and all these,
Yes.
Sammy has fucking knockers, like whatever those lines were. So you said those, right? And so they got sent in, and then shortly after it got sent in, my agent got an additional notice and was like, hey, can Janeshia do these lines? So then it was like more lines. And so I was like, okay, this is looking good. I'm equating this to like a callback.
Right, yeah.
Right? And so then I had to send in additional lines, and then hadn't heard back. I reached out to my agent. I was like, hey, so what's up with that South Park thing? She's like, oh, let me follow up. I'm like, bitch, you didn't follow up. I got to remind you about this shit.
Yeah.
So then she followed up, I guess, and she said she hadn't heard anything. And then days after that, I got a call from Daryl Sankton. If you guys know the end credits on South Park,
Yes.
Daryl, thank you. I continue to say thank you.
Yes.
Was like, hey, Janeshia, this is Daryl Sankton at South Park. I'm like, yes. She's like, so I want to know if you can like come in and do another session. In my head, I was like, yo, another session? Did I book this shit and didn't know? Like, this is what I'm thinking in my head, right?
You would go through that thing of like,
Yes.
did I do something that I don't remember doing?
Did I book
like that?
this?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, yeah, so like you can come down at like 2. Meanwhile, I had just stepped out of an ADR session from a movie I had just did.
Right. So like, and that's a cool thing too, is like you've done all this live action stuff, and then so what was kind of because you had started mainly with live action. Had you done any sort of voicing before the South Park role?
Yes. So I did voiceover way back when I was in college. I was an on-air radio personality, so I did a lot of radio.
Wow.
I did field reporting for different sports teams. Like I was no stranger to being in a booth or on a mic, right?
Absolutely.
And when I was working on at Clear Channel San Francisco, which is now iHeart, I was doing a lot of copy for on-air advertisers, crying babies, and I was doing a bunch of shit. So it's like everything I've done has been full circle. I've done it, And so getting back into like the South Park, and let me be honest, before South Park, I had auditions for Bob's Burger, King of the Hill.
Wow.
Didn't land any of that shit.
But then
Super
you hit
bummed.
South Park.
And then I got South Park. Was like, yeah, that's right.
That's
That's
what's so
right.
cool is like hitting King of the Hill and Bob's Burgers are like
It was
the cool
great,
ones.
but you guys wouldn't have been talking about me right now. I tell you right now, it was like one line. I'm like hamburger lady, customer,
or like King of the Hill,
neighbor,
just like neighbor.
Yeah,
but with
passerby.
South Park playing like such
The lead, Cartmen.
That's what's so funny too. Is like
Yeah.
I wonder always this. So we talked to Patricia Patts earlier today, and
Peppermint Patty.
Yes, very sweet lady. So
Yes.
I asked her, had you seen the design of Cartmen before you started recording the lines?
Great question. No, it wasn't until, first of all, again, I didn't even know I was doing Cartmen until my 4th session.
Yeah.
When they brought me out sides, and they're like, "Oh, Janeshia, here's your sides," and at the bottom it said Cartmen. Because if you remember, there was 3 other people that are his friends, and 4 if we include Butters, right? So there's these 5 girls, and when I was at the studio and recorded, I'm thinking they're gonna figure out who's gonna be this strong African American female.
Yes.
Did not know that they were saying, they had me in there reading Cartman's lines. The other girl was reading Kenny. The other girl was reading Cal. They're all reading all these other people. So the 4th session, I get it. Hey, here, and it says Cartmen at the bottom. I'm you gotta be fucking kidding me.
I would say the exact same thing.
Yeah, fuck you, bitches. Like
I would say the exact same thing. It's like this is, like I said, this is the most iconic character in
literally.
animation,
Yes.
and I'm playing him. Like,
Yes.
as somebody who's like you.
A show I watch.
Exactly.
And who has a potty mouth just as potty as mine.
And another thing too with that also is Trey Parker takes so much like care of like the whole Cartmen thing, because Cartmen is like I think he said Cartman is like an envision almost of himself.
Cartman is an entire vibe that has his own cadence, his own mannerisms. Like I said, the whole entire South Park team compares to no other. I've been on a lot of projects. I've been directed by a lot of people, but Trey and Matt, goddammit, those people are geniuses.
Yes.
Like that whole entire team, the engineers or Bruce and Lydia, like making sure that I was staying on cadence, because Cartman, God damn it, like he has his whole way he says shit.
Absolutely. Yes.
But the first person that I saw that was the version of the Pandaverse that I saw was actually Butters.
Really?
Because I was going in doing my lines and they were finishing up something, and on the big screen I was like, who the fuck is that? They were like, that's Butters. I was like, no way, that's Butters? What the fuck's going on up in here?
Yes.
And then I walked out, and they have this big area. So first of all, the studio where we record is called Casa Bonita. How fitting is that,
to
right?
That. Yes.
Casa Bonita. And so I'm walking out, and there's this big area where they have the biggest TV I've seen. And they're all out there, and they're watching it. And I see this black girl with red, and the headband is light blue and yellow. I said, who is that? They're like, Janeshia, that's you. I was like,
oh
yeah,
my
it's about
goodness.
to get real. I'm like, oh, nobody's ready.
That is so...
Nobody ready for this shit.
That is so... Because like that, and especially like now, like with South Park mainly just doing those specials and stuff.
Yes.
The Pandaverse has been one of the most fan favorite by far.
Literally.
Because they had the pandemic special.
Yep.
They had
COVID
the post-COVID, the streaming wars.
Yep.
But for some reason,
yes.
the Into the Pandaverse has been probably the fan favorite.
It has been.
And I think it really is just...
We broke the internet.
And that's what the thing is. Like,
literally
it was
broke
the whole satire of the whole pandering with Disney and like all these other companies.
Yes.
And it's just that perfect satire, and just seeing like an alternate universe of, these characters played by these like strong African American women.
Yes.
And it just, the way that they handled it was brilliant.
Yeah, they put a whole universe together of what everybody was thinking.
Absolutely, yes.
Just like, why do we need this? Why do we need that?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be changed?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we talked about South Park. Now,
Yes.
I really want to get into the stunt aspect, because you are a stunt woman.
I am a multi-hyphenate, yes.
Yes. So
I'm Jamaican. I have 9 jobs.
Right. Yeah. Right. So at your table, you have pictures of you as competing on American Ninja Warrior.
Yes.
I want to get into that kind of thing of like, what's that process like of, audition, like, because you really kind of audition to like be a contestant, right? You send in like some videos and stuff.
You send in videos and and this is the thing. I've been a fan of American Ninja Warrior since it started. I was training with Ninja Warriors who kind of set a real big trend for it to be out, in the Hollywood area, where people were making their own courses in their backyards. I was training with some of those guys when I first started doing stunts.
Right.
And so I became a real big fan of the show, and I would watch the show, and I'm like, wow, it's super cool. And I love obstacle courses. I've been an athlete my whole life.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you watch it and you're like, yeah, okay, cool. This is what's up. I can do it. I'm an athlete.
Yeah.
I competed for my country.
Absolutely.
I do fighting and jumps and all this stuff. So I did send in a video, and I got chosen.
Yeah, right.
I got chosen. I got picked. And the process, I'm going to say this. American Ninja Warrior is some other shit. Okay?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, anybody who's watched that show knows like the people who compete on that are like top notch.
They got ninja gyms.
And I think the thing I've noticed too about that show is you need to have upper body
strength is your friend.
Exactly.
I had an accelerated course of 2 days, crammed into like maybe a week before actually going to go shoot, and then like training. So I wish I would have more time, obviously. Because you want to have a lot of time, right?
Yeah, especially for what you're competing for.
Yeah.
You want to have as much time so you know that you're ready to take on that obstacle. And and that's another thing too. Have you seen like an overview of the obstacle course before you had done your run?
Okay, so this is the thing. To get back to training really quick, I had an awesome ninja coach, like Arnold Hernandez, like super freaking amazing. And so he was like really helping me get me ready for the show. Like, you know, because again, I had never competed on the show, never touched a ninja course or nothing. So Arnold really, I thank you, Arnold, because Arnold helped me get ready. Right. Fast forward, when you're there, they show you the course before you run. Okay. And they make sure that you can do it. Mm-hmm. And they show you like the rules, what to hold, what not to hold, what you can hold. Because you have to basically give a verbal agreement, like, yes, I understand how this obstacle works, right? It's like, you gotta verbally be like, yes, I'm not gonna like sue y'all if something happens or anything like that. Like, I agreed to the terms. Right, yeah. Yes. I think it's just so cool, like, looking like, because I watch American Ninja Warrior a lot, and I think it's so. But I always just like wonder, like, you know, what's the process like of like getting on that show, like, and it's like, a process. You got to do it. I mean, I was a fan of the Japanese version. Let's be honest, right? But the process is you do a damn video, and hopefully the producers like you enough to invite you out. Right. I think it really helps when you bring your personality. And you show your athleticism in the videos, right? Because I'm a stunt woman and I've done these different things. So I was able to do a video that showed my high energy personality, me do some athletic stuff and be like, yo, choose me, I'm Hollywood Ninja, you know? Yes. Something like that. But perfect. Yeah. So you want to have a moniker and a gimmick. Yeah. You know? Perfect. Yeah. So anyway, this has been amazing. Oh my God, I've loved having you on. So where can people find you at? Give us your socials, your like YouTube channel if you got some. Where can people find you at? So you guys can find me at Instagram, okay? Hollywood Lady J. That's Hollywood LADYJ. I don't have a Facebook. I was hacked by a Vietnamese hacker. Ouch. So don't be trying to find me on Instagram because I'm sorry, Facebook, because I don't have one. Right. Someone's like, I sent you something on Facebook. I was like, no, you didn't. I don't have it. Stop. I don't have Facebook. Nice. But I am actively on Instagram. Okay, yes. I do follow you, so I do see you on there. Yes. And do you have like YouTube or anything? Is it just mainly Instagram? Mainly Instagram. Like I have YouTube stuff, but find me on Instagram. I'm telling y'all where to find me, okay? Instagram. Yes. If you go anywhere else, it's not me. Right. Perfect. Yes. Well, Janeshia, this has been absolutely amazing. We've loved having you on. Yes. And like I said, South Park Into Pandaverse is one of my favorites. South Park, joining the Pandaverse. Yes. Joining the Pandaverse. South Park, joining the Pandaverse. We broke the internet. Go check it out, y'all. Right. But this has been another Skulled Stone production interview with Janeshia Adams Ginyard. Yes. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank y'all so much for having me. This was amazing. Wakanda forever. Amen. All right. And welcome back to the Too Many Words podcast at Planet Funk Con Day 3. We are here with Paul E. Niemeyer.
Where? He owes me money.
Yeah. And this guy, loved him ever since I met him. He did something really cool. He did the original art for Mortal Kombat. And I'm like, man, why aren't enough people talking about him? So
somebody had to do it. Right?
Yes. Niemeyer, it is such a privilege to have you on here.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for the privilege to be here.
Yes, really. Yes. Thank you for your time. So we have been doing a little bit of talking over the weekend, and we just decided to settle on something that we call Spies, Lies, and Video Games. Yes, because apparently you have quite a few stories about spies related to the video game industry.
Don't give it away.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're giving things away already.
Yes. Niemeyer, how did you go about in that?
Well, okay. So I was the new guy on the block.
Yes.
And the entire art department consisted of art gods, all these pinball art gods, and they've been there 3 to 5 years, and I've been there 3 to 5 minutes. So I was looking for some way to shine.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that Bally Midway had put together like this dream team of programmers on the second floor and the art gods, they still had it hardwired in their tiny little management heads that their success was from Japanese games. Mm-hmm. So they would take huge fistfuls of money, and just go over to Japan, just toss it at whatever game came across their, focal point. So these games were coming back to the States. you know, like just a regular flow of the damn things, and they needed graphics to go out onto test, you know, to see how they do on the floor, and we put them out on Aladdin's Castle or someplace, you know, and so boy, I saw an opportunity for me to shine, and I wanted to, you know, kind of make a big splash with my boss. So I jumped on every Japanese game they showed up, and I wanted to do graphics on them. Some of them were in such a rush; they'd be like out on the loading dock. And, yeah, it's out on the dock. Just run out there. You grab the panel off. Run back in the. You got 2 hours. 2 hours to throw some graphics together.
Yeah.
Put it back on, and back on a truck, and off it goes. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So these video games are coming and going all the time. Fast forward, 1984, the video game crash has happened, the 83 video game crash has happened. We were attached to the factory. Every day was Black Friday. There'd be like 50 factory workers gone, you know. And it was
lots of layoffs.
Black Friday. Yeah, no kidding.
I remember that.
So you know, everybody in the office was kind of like, well, you know, we're next for sure. And since I was low man on a totem pole, I was first one out the door.
Ooh.
Okay, so the day came, and Paul Ferris took me into his office, and you know, and he was way more upset about it than I was. I think I'd already kind of prepped myself that it was going to happen. My girlfriend at the time had just broken up with me, and I decided I was going to quit smoking, and I lost my job. Let's just nail them all at the same time. I was blowing all out of here. What the hell, you know?
Yeah.
And that was my attitude. So I was kind of laughing about it, and here we are in his office, and he's in tears. He you know, he was really taking it hard to the point where I'm kind of like, that's okay, Paul. I got this. It's all right.
Yeah,
I'll turn out okay. I got a couple of years in me yet, you know.
Right.
So, but this just shows what a sincere, awesome boss he was. He really was just the best. I cannot say enough about that man. He's just a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway.
You're good.
Now, I'm walking out the door, and I got my hand on the open, and the door's open, and he says to me, "Is there anything that you know, wanted to know about? Got any questions?" And yeah, no, pretty much. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there was one thing. That one day when the customs agent, a little chick, like 5'0", 80 pounds, soaking wet, in a nice gray suit, comes out and goes, "Customs," and busts out a badge. Push away from your desk. Then 2 shaved gorillas in black suits showed up behind her, and they just did a walk through the art department. I don't think anybody else even heard them say customs agents, but I was right by the door, so I got the full frontal, you know. That's badge in the face and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah, so they walked around the art department and then out the door, and you know, we all pushed away from our desks, and you know, like a bunch of 12-year-olds that we were just making paper airplanes and screwing with each other the whole time. You know? So it's like cigarette break, and you can actually smoke at your, which is why I quit in '84. Okay?
Yeah.
Quit smoking. Don't smoke. Don't start. Yeah. Anyway.
All right, Planet FunCon. We got a few changes in our events today. Today at noon, You Got the Glow, featuring Ty Mock, Bruce Leroy himself. His panel is going to be moved to his booth, which is on the far right wall of our guest row. Once again, today at noon, You Got the Glow, featuring Ty Mock, Bruce Leroy himself. He will be hosting a panel today at noon at his booth.
Oh my gosh. I'm loving every second of this.
Yeah. With all of our celebrity guests. Thank you.
And we discovered that was how world peace could be achieved. And we got that down, right? Everybody wrote that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
We got it all down,
right.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
That is awesome.
So
the
Spies,
customs.
Lies, and video games.
Yes.
Right? Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Yeah.
So now I said, okay, I said, so the customs agents, they're walking through the place. I said, what the hell? He said, remember all those Japanese games that were coming over? Well, it turns out that spies, real spies, found out about this whole operation and decided that was an ample opportunity to piggyback information onto the hard drives of the games that were being shipped in and nobody was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a small army of independent contractors that were coming and going out of the place all the time, working on the games, parts, putting in stuff. You know, we were contracting everything out. You couldn't manufacture all the pieces, so, you know, it was easy for somebody to come and just download that information and pull the hell out of there.
Right.
That was what was happening under everybody's noses.
Oh, wow.
Nobody knew about that. And here's where it comes to the customs agents. They assumed that operation going so smoothly, it had to have some sort of a Confederate on the inside that was helping them out. So they thought if they showed up and did this little show and tell with the shaved gorillas and the chick with the badge, that whoever was involved with it would be shitting their pants.
Yeah.
But since we were all 12-year-olds and we had nothing to do with it, all we did was make paper airplanes and smoke cigarettes. Don't
Right.
smoke cigarettes. Anyway, so I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
He goes, by the way, kind of keep that to yourself. You know, well, okay, that was 1984. I'm walking out the door. He said they didn't want anybody to know about it, he goes, and I'm trusting you to not say that. He goes, quite honestly, you were the only one that even remembered any of that because you were right by the door when she came in with the badge. Nobody else even saw that. They were all around the corner, so they were like, "Where are the goons? I don't know. Let's have a smoke." Don't smoke.
Don't smoke.
Don't smoke, people.
Yeah.
You heard it from him. Don't smoke.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we discovered world peace on the way.
What do you know? Hey, I got one more on-the-spot question for you.
Sure. I can make up a lie. What do you want?
I love your art style, and of course, since you are a freelance artist, would you be down to do a commission for our T-shirt design for next year in 2026?
Yeah.
Cool. Because we have a mascot.
Okay, here.
Yeah.
Freelancers credo: never say no.
All right. How about that?
Whatever the job is, you've done it before. Even though after they talk to you, you have to go Google it.
Yeah, right.
I especially think something like this would be right up your alley. Our mascot for the podcast is a panda dressed up in Viking armor. And I think I can already see it, you know?
Yes.
Here, I got my Viking.
Oh, there we go.
I'm a third Viking. Yeah.
All right, I guess we're gonna wrap this up because she's talking again. But yeah, Paul Niemeyer, thank you so much, sir. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for your time.
The world peace.
Yes. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Hello, this is day 2 of Planet FunkCon. Sorry, I almost forgot where we were at. Davenport, Iowa. Originally, we were only going to record on the day of Saturday because, you know, we love to have Jordan take care of all the tech stuff. But, you know, I know how to do it, obviously. It's just I don't like doing it all the time. But we kind of lucked out, Vinny.
We did.
Yeah,
we really did.
By the way, anybody who's listening only, I'm here with Vinny. I'm not by myself. But we did really, given the events that got on recording yesterday, we lucked out. And we have a lot of content to get today.
We do, actually. We actually have a lot.
Some on this podcast, some not on this podcast, some being on One Good Question. Vinny, tell them who's going to be on One Good Question in the future.
We have the legendary Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
Who you may know from the WWE. Also is Vince McMahon's son. So, and
Lester Spite.
We have awesome Lester Spite. That's going to be really fun to talk to him.
Linebacker.
Terry Tate, baby. That will be really fun to talk to him about because Terry Tate was an amazing Super Bowl commercial that still gets talked about to this day, actually, which is pretty cool because that came out many, many years ago.
People don't remember commercials anymore.
But many people seem to remember Terry Tate, and that's what makes it so unique.
Office linebacker, baby.
Heck yeah.
And even as we are speaking this right now, I feel like there's more people that we will accidentally land today.
We probably actually could land a few people today.
Sue, the female pro wrestler back there for TNA.
Possible. We could definitely do her.
Very friendly.
Very. We could definitely do her.
Asked us for our Instagram so she could follow us later. I gave her our business card.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So hey,
and I definitely know that if we tag her in things,
she will notice.
She will notice and then follow us.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
But also, who we're gonna have on this podcast episode in particular, we're gonna have Patricia Patts, who is the voice actress for Peppermint Patty.
Now, keep in mind,
1980s.
I was gonna say she's one of them because Peppermint Patty's actually had a lot of
She's not the original.
The Peanuts characters actually have had a lot of voice actors,
I mean, you can
actresses.
only stay young for so long.
Yes,
you know?
but she was the second voice, you said, right?
She was the second Peppermint Patty,
and that makes it very unique.
Yeah,
but still, just getting any of the Peanuts voice actors is incredible, because as many people know, Peanuts is amazing. Started out as a comic book, or like not comics, but like the newspapers, like the funnies, and it turned its way into like one of the most successful media like thing, or like video. I don't know, like what you would call it, like videos, like movies, TV shows, TV specials, like
TV.
Yeah, but it turned into one of the most successful TV like programs.
Yeah.
So that makes it pretty unique to have somebody who worked directly with the Peanuts to get to talk to us more about that.
Yeah.
And then also later on.
Also later on.
Yes, also later on, we have the legendary, and I say legendary because this is pretty cool. She's worked alongside probably the two greatest creators in TV history. We have Janeshia Adams Ginyard, who has played Panderverse
Cartmen.
Eric Cartman in the South Park Into the Panderverse special. Who wrote that was Trey Parker and Matt Stone, who I personally believe are two of the most influential and most genius creators in TV history. So that's gonna be fun for me.
I thought Janeshia was really fun looking. She seems very nice and stuff. And then you go talk to her and you tell me how that conversation went, and I'm like, getting her on the podcast would be pretty fun.
Yes.
I'm gonna let you lead that one.
You're gonna let me lead?
I'm feeling very introvert right now.
Okay, yeah. It's cool too because like she's not only Panderverse Eric Cartman, she's also been in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, having played in Black Panther.
Yeah.
So that's cool. She's also had a really good. You want to go for that?
American Ninja Warrior.
I was gonna say that, and I'd let you have it. So.
TV show episodes.
Yes, but that is pretty cool that we have
really
like an actual she's
a
also
real ninja.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's also done a lot of stunt work.
American
I actually
ninja.
Last night looked up her Wikipedia and like her filmography. She's got a lot of stunt work for like Marvel movies.
Absolutely.
So that's gonna be kind of cool. Like talk about like her voice acting, but also her stunt work and like American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to talk to her about that, and I'm hoping that we can get another person on the podcast. That being, Isaac, do you want to tell them who you want to get for the podcast that you're hoping that you can?
Oh, Paul E. Niemeyer, the original artist for Mortal Kombat. Homie loves to talk. I noticed that. He's also very personable. He's very friendly and very giving of his time. And I'm not expecting him to say yes, but I'm going to just be like, hey, dog, if you got like 10 minutes to talk about the stuff that we already talked about and maybe even a little bit more, we got a podcast going on all weekend, and I would love the privilege of having you on.
That would be really cool.
Anyways,
having the guy who basically created the design for one of the most like legendary games of all time, and legendary franchises too, because Mortal Kombat has been going on for years. They had I think they started out with like the old NES, right? Didn't it start out with the NES?
I don't know.
Okay,
but
fair.
It's 8:57, and I gotta go get Patricia.
Yes.
So
when we come back, we're gonna have another
intro
person. We're gonna have another person on the podcast, and you're gonna love this one
for Planet Funk Con Sunday. Yeah.
Woo.
Hi, everybody. This is JB Coleman, where I wrote Dungeon Lords, The Lost Disciple. We're set up here at Planet Funk Con. This has been the Too Many Words podcast, and yeah, that's it.
Love you. Appreciate you. Have a good day.